test. How's the smoothie, bro?
Because it was intended for people who maybe didn't have an audience to be able to do UGC.
Hot mic,
If you have
hot
an
mic, just so you know.
audience, which the influencers would have to have.
Okay.
They can make more money
Uh-huh.
on a platform that's designed for people with a platform. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
The other thing, and this is, you would never break the terms of service around this, I know, but the other thing is Join Brands
Maybe
didn't.
a little bit. A little bit.
Disclosure.
Depends when the bills are due.
I don't know.
Join Brands didn't change their terms of service to match Amazon's around sales velocity manipulation.
Okay.
And so for offsite, it's not a big deal if you have a Shopify store to have a content creator buy from you and reimburse them, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just easier.
Yeah.
But on Amazon, you're not allowed to do that.
Oh.
And still some people who use Join Brands will ask Amazon influencers to buy through Amazon and take a reimbursement,
Yeah.
which of course is
Yeah, that's
very against you.
I know. I don't know why they do it because they give you two options, and the first option is have them buy.
Yeah,
Because when I did it first and I sent it to them, the first batch,
yeah,
some of them just kept their product and never.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And then you would get reimbursed.
You don't,
So that's why they say, oh, we gotta buy it. If you don't make the video, then
Yeah.
you got charged.
yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's against. I didn't know that. Yeah.
And so, yeah, because it's considered sales velocity manipulation on
Yeah.
Amazon. Now, if it's on your Shopify store, even as an Amazon influencer, I can go buy from your Shopify store and you can reimburse me.
Okay.
But if I buy through Amazon, we can't do that
Okay.
because Amazon considers that an
Wow.
incentivized.
And Join Brands is huge. I didn't-
Yeah, so they don't endorse it, but they didn't change their terms
No.
to match it,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So, just, cool.
So I can't tell them write a review.
No, and actually as Amazon influencers, we're not supposed to write reviews.
Okay.
Because we work with so many brands that ours could be considered incentivized written reviews,
Yeah.
which of course Amazon
Yeah.
killed in like 2016 or something.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I know, it's all very nuanced, but
Yeah.
just something to be aware of with Join Brands.
Oh, no, I already made a note to follow up.
Yeah,
no,
Yeah.
I haven't heard of anybody getting in trouble through them yet, but we know that Amazon will occasionally come through and like
Really?
sweep stuff.
Yeah. Well, I know that.
Yeah.
I might as well just send them the product outside of them purchasing it.
Yeah, if you're going to have them post on Amazon
Yeah,
specifically,
yeah.
then I would use your MFC or however you're
Mhm.
doing that and just send it directly to them.
Yeah, I'm using the MCF. whatever.
And
Yeah.
multi-fulfillment channel,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever they
yeah.
call it, yeah.
That's what I use.
Yeah, that's the best way, and that's the way Amazon wants us to do it for the Amazon piece. Everything outside of Amazon is totally different ballgame, but
Okay.
specifically on Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah, I just started to see if it works.
Do you know Mike Jackness, Ecom crew?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I was talking to him a year or two ago, and he was talking about, because he was using Join Brands,
Mhm.
really positive experience, and he was telling me what they'll do is buy content from creators,
Mhm.
and then they'll upload it to their Amazon listing,
Mhm.
and then run ads to it. He said they converted
It's
incredibly.
absolutely the best way to
Oh.
use it right now.
Yeah, so
Or you
like-
can get like a bunch of verticals that are like Amazon influencer videos or
Yeah.
UGC, slap them together in a time lapse into a short and use them as like a sponsored brand.
Yeah.
Vertical
Oh.
video creative or your Amazon posts. It's
Yeah.
some of the best converting.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have a
So-
great video, but I think she's Russian, and I could understand her English.
Oh.
Yeah, this is
Be like,
I'm like,
can
oh
I
my
have
God.
somebody do a voiceover on
Yeah,
this? 'Cause it's
it was
great.
a voiceover.
Yeah.
It was only like just.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay,
Okay.
that didn't work out.
Yeah, the UGC, and actually, this is really interesting and happened this week. Amazon sent the content creators in the Amazon Influencer Program, they sent us a survey
Yes.
to see, did you see it?
Yes, I did.
To see if we wanted to do flat fee work for brands
did you see the
on
quiz? They
Amazon.
sent a
I
quiz.
did the quiz, did you do it?
Yeah.
So it was like a 20-question quiz that they sent us that was like, would you want to let a brand license your content on Amazon for like X number of dollars a month, or 3 months, or 6 months? Images, videos, they asked us a ton of questions. So I think they're getting ready to do it where you can license through Amazon our content,
Okay.
which is great, and then just pay a flat fee.
Yeah.
And then you can probably run ads to it, is my guess.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to like
I was gonna go join brands then, it'll just be.
You would
like
just
a-
do it all through Amazon.
Oh, they're trying.
They're
yeah.
trying to like pull stuff
Yeah.
in-house.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
It controls the message and everything, yeah.
It does, and we know how bad written reviews have been for years. People have bought and sold and like paid people to leave one
Yeah.
star and everything else.
Oh, yeah, that's happening to me.
I mean, it's a hot mess.
It's horrible.
It's so bad.
And they're like this big, and they put, read the whole thing completely.
Scam, scam, scam.
Yeah,
Oh
yes,
my
and
God.
no, yeah, I got
Everything
hit
good?
twice with that scam, never buy,
How's
and
the
it was a
family
guy.
doing?
Good, they were
but
just
the
here.
picture
Oh, they were
that-
here?
no,
The
they-
kids and-
So it's not,
and
it's
your
a
wife?
kid,
Yeah.
but they didn't take it down.
No, Amazon doesn't, and I don't know, so like, in the influencer groups,
I'm
where
glad you
people
said
will be
that
like,
message,
hey, I
'cause
have
I
a
didn't realize
product,
that
this is what I wanna pay
Mhm.
for somebody to do an on-site video for me. We also get agents out there who are like,
What
hey,
that
we'll
was, is I
pay
used
for
a
one-star
template
reviews.
to send some of the
It's like,
messages. and-
Wow.
Like, I wish that we could have a way to like report
Yeah.
which listings they want one stars on and send it to Amazon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Amazon just shut down. those
Yeah,
listings.
yeah.
Or shut down.
Yeah.
Whoever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because, like,
yeah, no, I'm getting that now, yeah.
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 We
Okay.
had one of my.
We're gonna start in 4 minutes.
Because I'm actually going, I think my competitors, because I'm going out, but I didn't realize it. In my category, I'm ready for 3, and I think they're ready.
What are the eggs
Do you
for?
have any of the?
Oh, wow.
Oh, are those your kids?
My kids left eggs. Let me get them, because they're gonna want them back, actually.
Automated.
Thank you for saying.
You know,
Oh,
I'm scared.
sorry, that's
I was
funny,
about
I'm
to
like,
do it,
there's
but-
a-
Oh my God.
But I'm scared if I do it, I might get
That's
negative or nah, I don't know.
Okay, so
Nice,
I
I
did
love
it,
these.
it's a one.
That's not a bad
That's
thing
my
to
favorite
do,
question.
But like, so,
It's funny how you
she's a
mentioned.
That is
Shark Tank
hilarious.
seller.
Maybe
Because
they
it's how
saw
we
you guys
combated it
giving,
with
and they
content.
felt like they had
She's
to
a Shark
like.
Tank seller, she does
That's probably
click
what
and
they were
carry.
doing.
Mhm.
So
That's
her
hilarious.
listing gets like 50 to 70,000 page views monthly, depending
Mhm.
on if she has a rerun of her Shark Tank episode.
Mhm.
And she had somebody buying one-star reviews against her. They weren't writing anything, but they were
Okay.
just like, you know, whatever.
Mhm.
And so she went from, she had like
Yummy.
350 reviews when we
Mhm.
started her. and that
So
was like
Carlos,
2
I've been
years.
getting
And
stuff
then the next
from
year, we took her up
Facebook
over, like,
pages,
1,400 reviews.
the
Just
Amazon
turning around
influencer,
review army.
whatever, but I
Now, she
mean,
has a
here
lot
and
of
there
people
doing that, but for the
Yeah.
most part, I've been
Keep that in mind,
getting
but
some.
that's how
Still
we
not
do
in
it.
Creator
It's
Connect.
automatic, so I worked
Still
with
not
them
in
for
Creator
6
Connect.
years.
They told me that I was eligible, pero pues, they're not gonna be taking new people in till the end of the month now.
Just try it.
So I'm
and see
like
how it goes, 'cause it only sends it to people
waiting
that
for
order
that.
something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now,
I was
that-
getting a lot of stuff.
if
But the
people are
thing is
doing
that they're not like
they're
high
sending
priced
people
items, so
directly,
then the
people, they're
commission's
gonna
not
do
as
it.
much, but they
Yeah,
have
they'll
sent
bring
me
it down.
quite a bit of
Shooting
stuff
is
now.
legitimate
And of the
buyers.
stuff is the
What's
effort
helping
you're
me
putting into
is that
them
my-
versus what
my-
you're
At this
making.
point,
It's
what
all
I
from
find
Brazil.
that I need
So,
to
it's the
upload
number one
consistently,
organic
because if you're
everything
not,
product
if
in Brazil.
you're not uploading
So,
consistently,
this
the
is
algorithm
connected.
goes tank,
I'm
so
getting
even
a
if
lot
it's
of
not
it.
something like
So
what I
that's
try
why
to
I
do is
did
if
it
it's something that I can
4.2
use, then
for
great,
4.6.
even if it's not like super
And so- and then-
expensive.
and then with
But at
the
least I'm
4.5
uploading
because
something
of
and
these
opposed to
they're attacking.
nothing, cause there was a
Right,
time
so
period there que ya
as
como
much as
que I
they're
was like,
attacking,
alright, I'm
it's
trying
getting a lot
here
of,
and there, and it would be
five-star
maybe
reviews in
like,
Brazil.
you know, a few a day,
Right, and
or a
something
few.
to
So they don't know how to combat
Uh-huh.
it because it's
Right.
not a local.
Yeah.
That's what it's
We're only,
Funny that they
we,
can't figure out
we
what
don't,
one-star reviews are.
we're not treating this as a
So I
priority, like my main motivation for doing it
Right.
is so that I'm not
The
a hypocrite when I get up here.
experience. Right, right,
The
right.
only-
And
the
there's a
word I mean
bit
is
of like
the only review they ever done.
It's fun.
gamification, like it's fun.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
so it's easy to do.
Yeah.
It's better than sitting there and watching a show.
Exactly.
Right, and I can make money from this, so like, in
Exactly.
that sense, I'm loving it. But something that I'm seeing now is that,
portion of
for
the
example,
algorithm with
we have 2
influencer
accounts.
videos.
Uh-huh.
And to be honest, I would not have opened up the second account
And
knowing
there's
what I know
some
now.
Yeah.
influencer
It was
content.
open.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure, people
And
are scamming the system.
Mhm.
But it's
Our-
much
our
easier
main
to-
account,
as a
just
buyer
selling Carlos one,
to tell a crappy
we
video that somebody is
do-
not holding the product in.
Mhm.
$29
than
and
it is to tell
$3,300,
these
I just keep saying
anonymous
3K, cause I gotta give a number, but like 3,000 a month.
Yeah.
I'm not even close
At
to
like-
They've
that.
not
Oh,
said
man.
anything about
I'm
it.
not
I'd like to
even-
get to 100.
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
At like 600 videos,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Um,
Content creators who have
But
platforms somewhere.
a few things. One, the second account,
Yeah.
we
It's
started
gotta be a while, but that's
only
where I think, like,
uploading
because of this ridiculous
Yeah,
amount
horrible.
of
higher
like,
priced
one
items.
star.
Mhm.
Like, just like, let's just say,
Yeah.
we have about a
It's not,
third of the
a lot
revenue
won't start saying verified.
on that second
but the
account
verified, so
with
we'll leave
less
like
than
this
25
lady.
videos.
You see?
So like,
Higher
So
price.
the one that you have 25, because that's where I am now, I've been
The-
doing this for a month, and
Higher
I'm only
price.
making like $30.
right,
Higher
but
price
there's not a
item.
But the-
product on that one that is selling for less than like 550.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
And outdoor stuff, right?
Sports and outdoor.
Sports and
like
outdoor,
that
yeah,
sort of
that's
thing.
what I have found
But
too.
the other thing, which was a crazy for me is let's just say we're making about 3K on the Amazon influencer. We're making, as of this month, first one, about $4,500 a month.
Man, that would be like life
The
changing for us.
reselling of those products.
Oh, and the reselling.
So like the stuff that we're getting from
Right.
those brand deals or from those Facebook pages or from, brands reaching out, from Creator Connect.
Sure.
And it's a kid, and it's a kid.
Everything we're doing on the commission side of the Amazon influence, about 3K, we're making 50% more
Yeah.
and probably gonna do 200, 300% more than
Wow.
that.
Yeah, I
The
have it-
reselling of those
The
products.
reselling, well, yeah, that makes
And the
sense.
real
The
ones
thing
are-
with is like,
real
at this
ones,
moment, in those Facebook
I love
pages,
it.
what they offer is
Let me see.
not things that are like hugely expensive. Maybe like, some things have been maybe $100, a hair clipper, I've
Just
gotten.
market it like 60% off.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
just post it. It doesn't cost, use Facebook Marketplace or offer, it doesn't cost you anything.
of course.
And just leave it there.
Yeah.
You're gonna notice like one sale. But they don't say this, but it seems like those platforms work off of like momentum and like how seasoned you are.
Yeah.
And then you start getting more, they seem to promote your thing more.
Right.
And then it's just like, but this thing we're turning around, if you look under these tables
This
and
is,
everything,
yeah, I
like,
just
this is,
got, this is
a lot of, some of this stuff we haven't even processed yet.
This is
Right.
from yesterday.
And that's it.
And this is.
Yeah, and so when you're in, so when you're in
Yeah,
Creator
this is-
Connect,
that is
how,
the
d-
second.
do you also charge the
This one?
commission, what they call it, like
No.
a charge for doing the
I don't know
video?
if we've ever charged anyone
No,
from
no,
Creator
got you,
Connect.
got you.
So like it's
What-
listed as customer.
I mean, don't quote me on that. I don't believe we've charged anyone to do it. Creator Connect's been more like, they had something that made sense for us to review.
Okay,
Or it was something that we would use as a prop in, say, the Angelina and Carlos videos, or something behind the scenes in
I
another
mean,
video, or
most
we
times-
have friends and family that are really in need of X, and we think we can get it for free, leveraging one of our channels, and just gift it
That's
to
not a
them.
baby shirt.
oh,
That's-
okay,
that's-
yeah, type of like that, but
Or,
then,
or if it has a nice resale value.
Okay.
Like, we're taking some things and I'm like, if we do a video on this, there's zero chance we can make money. But we'll make $250.
right,
Yeah.
Like, why charge them?
sure,
And this is an easy $250 on Marketplace,
sure.
so.
No, and then plus also it's gonna make you the
I'm
commission when
getting,
it sells on
yesterday I
Amazon,
got a
so.
listing.
Assuming
Taken down.
there's room for that commission when it does
Legal,
sell on
Right.
Amazon. Yeah.
Prescription drug stuff that was never.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
I think I'm getting like attacked or something for a hair mask. I'm like, I'm not putting prescription drugs.
Let me make sure this is showing on the stream.
So,
It is? No, you see it. Could you X out the pop-up that I have showing, or is there a pop-up showing?
I wake up every morning with anxiety. I swear to God. I'm like, what?
Is there a
What
blue
today?
pop-up though?
No,
You Xed it?
yeah.
Okay.
This is my, I just got this girl yesterday.
All right, let's do it. We've got a lot more people on the way, but we got a fun day and a lot of stuff to go over. Thank you everybody for coming out. Getting blown up with messages. It's not the weather, so I'm sure everybody's just doing Miami time. But I gave them 5 minutes. I was nice today, and we're gonna get started. The great news, I like to say, is that today's presenter is here, that's coming on too, which is always nice. The last few times the presenter came, I saw him like walk out here like 5 minutes before we started, and I'm like, so that is super nice. I don't know if you're staying after 3:30 to network a little bit. If you can, I understand, but maybe she is. There's gonna be a Q&A. There's gonna be plenty of opportunity to ask questions from the stream and from everybody that's here. I'll repeat some of this at 2 p.m. right before I introduce Liz. But yeah, great stuff in store today. If this topic, today's topic about the Amazon Influencer Program and scaling on it, to my understanding, we're gonna talk more about how to grow the Amazon Influencer Program. I'm sure half asleep at this point, Liz could like quickly tell everyone how to get started. So I'm sure that we'll touch on that at some point, but this is mostly about growing. And she's the founder of an amazing software. That's gonna be the only software I use for Amazon Influencer Program scaling, which again, not stealing her thunder, like we'll get into that on that topic. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. No, so yeah, if this existed when I started, that's what I would be doing. I don't know if that's all I would be doing to the exclusion of all else, but I would be doing it to climb out of the nasty debt that I had, like crippling credit card debt. I'd be doing it to be able to have a greater quality of life in, maybe there's a lot of people I wanna say no to, but I can't say no to because I have obligations or I'm walking this financial tightrope. This will just give you more room to breathe, more room to like enjoy life, and make a very lucrative income. I mean, there's myself already, like and we're not even doing this as we're not even treating this like a business, like we have a lot of other stuff going on, but like I just mentioned, between what we're doing in commissions, between the resale value of this stuff, from the brands that are paying us $50 to $75 to review blank, doing about $11,000. Like, I was not doing that as a private label, not profit, that's profit. I was not doing that as a private. As a matter of fact, I was getting called to speak on stages as a private label seller and was not doing that in profit per month, not profit. Like, I was reinvesting it all into the business, you know, living off peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and $5 footlongs. So like, this is an opportunity. I feel like for a while it's been seeing like, is this something that's gonna catch on? Is this a real thing? Is the bottom gonna fall out of this thing? Or commission's gonna go down to 0.5%? Seems like it's sticking. So, and the excitement from everybody is very real. So I'm probably gonna start doing some content after today on kind of like ways to diversify from this opportunity. In the event, you never know. In the event in a couple of years, it maybe is not something you want to do anymore. You have other stuff that's going on. But amazing topic, one that it's scary, not scary, it's scary and exciting to think of where my life would have gone had this been the thing instead of storage, auctions, garage sales, and thrifting when I first started. What would have been different? I think I would have had significantly less gray hair. I'd probably still be a runner, thin, right? I think it would look very different, but it's exciting to think about. In our beginner hours for this year, pretty much, we've been focusing on live product sourcing in the beginner hours. You know, I don't bother you guys with surveys and all this other stuff that you just ignore when I send to emails, but I really would like feedback on that live product sourcing, you know, that we do in this beginner hour for wholesale or for private label, just so that I'm not investing more into the doing of that, and it's not really something you'd like. But some of the stuff, I was just talking to Rafa, from Shared Studio over there, I was talking to him before the event about maybe doing some live image optimizations or some live listing builds, you know, how to use Pick Food, and like a lot of things that should be pretty important, using Jungle Scout with your business moving forward. So what I'm gonna send out is probably gonna be like a 2-3 question thing. I'm not asking for your email address. I don't even need to know your name. It would mean a lot though, just for the, you know, the direction that the group goes, if you take a second to fill it out and let me know, are those things that we should be doubling down on as a group, or should we go in another direction, right? My benefit of the group, one of my benefits of the group is gonna be the same whether we talk about, whatever we talk about growing on Ecom, because I use it as a way to grow myself for my own business, and just personally. So it's definitely a group, not a dictatorship. If it was, we would talk about private label every single Saturday. It's all we would talk about is private label and ads, right? And no one wants to talk about deep dives on ads and data sheets, Miami on a Saturday afternoon, right? But I would appreciate if you guys do that. The podcast that we have, Wizards of Ecom podcast, would love feedback by the form of review on those. Unlike Amazon, I can solicit a 5-star review without breaking terms of service. The 2 places where you can leave a review is Spotify and the Apple iTunes store. Shockingly, that really moves the needle for podcasts because there's not a search algorithm to get discovered. So it seems like reviews is what gets people to give you a chance to listen. I'd also love some feedback on that. I'm gonna be reaching out to a lot of you. Some of you here, I won't put you on the spot though, to be a guest on the podcast. Looking back on the episodes, we're at almost 380 episodes. I feel like I've had it's been much heavier skewed into just the uber successful people in the space. I would like to start doing, or taking a page out of the book of a good friend of mine who ironically we just mentioned, Mike Jackness, with Ecom Crew Podcast, is kind of having these like under the hood segments where it's more like you're doing arbitrage, you're 6 months in. Like, I think those are gonna be more beneficial, and then having follow-up episodes, so like where you're at in a year and a half, they're gonna be more impactful and helpful for other people listening than how I went from 8 figures to 9 figures in sales, right? So I'm gonna reach out to some of you, and the idea of getting on a podcast probably sounds scary, but I would appreciate if I do reach out to you, you just give it some serious thought and trust that I'm gonna take care of you on the show and that it's pre-recorded, and if you say something, if you just have like a total Tourette syndrome, I can clip that you know, like we'll make it work, all right? Sponsors, I hope these are cycling, they are. We have a bunch of amazing sponsors. We have some more I mean, it's shocking to me, we have a bunch of other amazing, I didn't make an offensive Tourette thing, right? Neither one of you have Tourette's?
B-I-D-E-N.
No.
Huh?
B-I-D-E-N.
Oh, we,
Yeah, we have Vita moment.
oh,
on
God.
there.
It's like when I do my review videos, like take one, okay,
Yeah.
take two, wait, no.
That would've been helpful
I said,
there.
oh.
Look at
That-
that.
Stop, we're not gonna
That's
get
why
you in
we-
trouble,
I'll
Carlos.
talk to everybody
We're not
when we get to the networking
That's why I
portion at
spelled
the
out
end,
the
but
name.
We're
I
not
just,
gonna get you in trouble, we're
but
not
somebody
gonna get you in
was,
trouble.
somebody had a really cool idea. Can I pull this off without saying anything? Okay, I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna quickly move on to something else. Like, I'm not saying any names, but somebody said that today, when I'm announcing our amazing speaker, you pull what you want from this, right? I love everyone equally, right? But today, when I'm announcing our amazing speaker, I should say one of the best who's done it, 10 years in the space. Some of this is true. Founder of Fluencer Fruit, welcome my close friend, Jeff Bezos. and then I thought it was comical and that I should do it, and I kind of have done it, but I decided not to do it when I actually do it, so you get it. If you know what I just said. So we have a lot of amazing sponsors. Shockingly, to me, we have even more sponsors that want to work with us. If you're not working with one of the people up here, you're working with somebody else, I hate the word competitor, one of their competitors, I'm not asking you to stop working with what works for you and jump over, but at a minimum, if you see they have a webinar going on, share it. Even if just share it to your network. These people help us. My wife would not, between this location, the Tampa location, everything else going on, we have about $25,000 a month minimum that it takes to put on what we do. My wife would not let me come out of pocket for that every month and do it by myself. That would have been nixed a long time ago. If my wife, God bless her soul, had her way, it would be like $500 a ticket to come in because she can't be with me on a Saturday. So like, these sponsors move mountains to make this a reality. Stop by their booth. If you can't attend their webinar, share their webinar, share their affiliate thing. Should just help them, go say hi to them, and still work with who you want to work with. I will say that the sponsors we do have, and I say no to a lot more than I say yes. These are people that I personally work with, or someone on our, I hate the word leadership team, but our inner circle, if you will, on this group that I see their stuff, they see my stuff. I tell some of these people, like, look, I'm not about to switch something that's been working with me for 10 years, but if you by a free license or something, allow so-and-so and so-and-so to use your stuff and let them get full access for like 30 to 60 days, and they get to give me feedback on it, that will be enough. So these people work. I highly recommend using them if you see them up here. The other one, thankfully somebody pointed out, is this QR code. I noticed there was a lot of people racing to catch the QR code or waiting for it to come back. This QR code takes you to a page where all these sponsors are at. You do not have to catch the one that is showing up under that respective sponsor. So you got that. We have 2 events that you start thinking about now that are happening this year, at least 2, right? One of them is Alibaba Co-Create. I'll be speaking at Alibaba Co-Create. It's an amazing event. It's also one of those events that if you're gonna write anything off in your taxes, this is Vegas, this might be the spot where you wanna go to your accountant and say this was a business trip. But what I really love about Co-Create, besides it being an amazing event, is the pricing structure. This is Alibaba. They could have charged $5K a ticket and done well. They have like a $195 ticket, like a $400 something ticket, and their VIP, which is usually other people's early bird 2 years out, is like $995. Now, not to say $995 is a little, but that $995 includes your hotel in the hotel where the conference is happening. No Uber, none of that craziness. And it's a nice hotel, by the way. The Paris, yeah. It includes $200 in Alibaba credit. So at any point that you're gonna go shop on Alibaba, buy AliExpress, any of that, you just plug that in and $200 off. So that's $400 of your ticket, and all food is included. Throughout the event, the gala at night, and the ticket pretty much pays for itself. And this next part I've just heard from a lot of people, I don't know if it's true, but I know every time that I fly out to Vegas, it seems to be significantly cheaper than if I was just trying to fly to Georgia. And what I've heard is that they subsidize the tickets because they just want you to get out there and gamble, right? So tickets are pretty affordable just to fly out to this event. Final one on the event, and this will apply to the next one that I'm gonna talk about, is
Who should go to co-create? Who should go?
anyone that's thinking about heading in the direction of private label, or is an active private label seller, should go to co-create. Even if you're sourcing your product, let's say it's a food product and you're sourcing it from the US, the packaging component of that is something you can get. If you prefer to fly to China and get sick, I get sick every time, but if you prefer to fly to China to find your packaging person, go for it. I suggest you go to Vegas and have an amazing time pulling it off. So like if you're thinking of private label, something that you're thinking of, maybe it's your early 2025 roadmap plan, or something you'd like to do, go. Final one I'd like to say on this is, if you've gone to a conference by yourself, I have, right? It's one thing, it's overwhelming, right? If you go to a conference with a community, and I'm very biased on our community, it is a totally different experience. You get to cover a lot of ground. You get to get perspectives in real time. You get to revisit. There's power in numbers here. And the other thing is, I've been lucky. I've been managed to get lucky a lot of times over the last 15 years in this Amazon space. I'm lucky to like rub shoulders with some of the smartest people in the space. I get invited to all the events. Like if you've come to us to Prosper before and stuff like that, and I get invites to all those events, and the first thing I say, I was like, listen, I would love to go, but I'm here with my community. We all get in, or well, I'm not going. And we all get in. So like, you're gonna be able to get access to some of like these crazy events that you usually hear about afterwards, and you're like, oh, I heard so-and-so went to the whatever, it was great. So like, it's gonna be worth the trip, all right?
Are you going to co-create?
I'm speaking there, yeah, I'm going, yeah. Yeah, I'm going, I would have gone anyway, but I'm going and I'm speaking. The other event, which I won't belabor on so much like I did that one, but a lot of the stuff applies, like going as a group, is PLMA. That's gonna be in November. So September 5th through the 6th is Alibaba Co-Create in Vegas. November is PLMA, Private Label Manufacturers Association, in warm Chicago. Right?
They're
And
warm.
nice and warm Chicago. It's warm for me. I have built-in insulation.
Yeah.
So I love it. And guess what I dress in?
Yeah.
These shirts.
I don't know how you do it.
Shocking, right? I might wear blue.
In
But
hot.
Fishing shirts there.
definitely.
It's rather outside
They're
the
for
refrigerator.
athletic, the tall athletic type. That's what these shirts are for. That's why Ramon does not wear them. I think that covers it as far as like announcements. If you're watching this on the stream, you see the ticker of all of our sponsors. When our speaker comes up, speaking like in the third person, when Liz comes up, I'm gonna go man the portal back there on YouTube. So any questions you have, I'm gonna be able to answer them. Like all speakers, my goal, I'm hoping, always hoping, that you can stump the speaker on something, because as a speaker, as someone that hosts stuff, you learn from that stuff, right? So ask tough questions. You chose to be here instead of roaming around Miami on a Saturday afternoon. It's to grow your business. That's what it's about. There's no dumb.
I forgot to ask you, who should go to PLMA?
I answered it too,
Oh.
but yeah, but you were on Facebook. No, I said anybody. By the way, that's not me being rude. He's my best friend, and he's the godfather of my son. That's why I have that. We also are at the gym at 5 a.m. every morning, and I'm having to motivate him to push more and do more. And,
You?
yeah, crushing him. It's obvious who's right. So, but no, I said anybody who is in private label, who has, I'm going to get into private label on their roadmap.
I was talking about PLMA.
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 Oh, okay. So you can say something smart back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Um,
I said everything I need to say.
Anybody that go to PLMA, you should go to PLMA if you are an Amazon wholesaler, if you are thinking about being an Amazon wholesaler, or if you're in private label or thinking about being a private labeler. So basically, you want to move out of arbitrage, or the mountain of gold that you're sitting on that came from the Amazon Influencer Program, you're now looking for somewhere to put it, right? You're now looking for somewhere to put, oh my God. You know, the beginning years of the group, if you don't remember Tom, well, not the beginning years, but a close go, he used to bring his own chair. So for those of you that like the cushions on these chairs, they actually come from years of being guilt tripped by Tom. He used to bring in this I would call it the Yeti of chairs.
Uh-huh.
And it had,
Cup
like,
holders.
it got a freezer, a little microwave, cup
No.
holders, it had everything built
It
into
just
it.
had a table and a couple.
And then when the newest version came out, one day he came in acting super generous. He's like, this is for you. He gave me his old version. But so basically, if you're in arbitrage and you love it and you're like arbitrage for life, PLMA is probably not for you, unless you want to be in the party atmosphere that we're doing, and then that is a good one as well. I'd say PLMA is one of the only events that I actually go out at night. The rest of them, I'm like the boring dude at the events. Tom will vouch for that. If it's ramen in the lobby of the hotel, I'm in, but I usually don't wander out. But if you're anything else, wholesale, wanna be PL or PL, PLMA is for you. And it's just a place that is full of basically US-based factories with low MOQs and super competitive pricing. That's the best description I can give you. And it seems to get better every year. It is a massive event, and traveling as a community is just, it's priceless. So let's get into some actionable announcements besides just tooting our own horn here in the meetup group. I made some notes here in case you guys think I'm fixated on this helmet, even though I am a Star Wars geek. Fixated here is I made some notes because there's some things that I think are pretty important announcements to make this week. So the runner-up holiday to Christmas is coming up next week. It's Prime Day, right? An artificial holiday, which, by the way, do you guys hear that TikTok is creating their own holiday? And guess when it happens? On Prime Day. So their strategy, TikTok is now creating another shopping holiday on the same day of whenever Prime Day is. So genius, you gotta love it. So for those of you that are like concerned, like I don't wanna sell this because so-and-so is selling it, TikTok doesn't care. So maybe you should care a little less. PEDs, for you, those of you who don't know it, Prime exclusive deals, right? Things you're probably running right now if you're growing your business. This is more for the private label side, but this is my public service announcement because every single year I'm gonna get told nightmare stories the following week. So Prime exclusive deals that you're running, coupons, promos, best deals, all that stuff. Do not forget that when you're setting up Prime Day deals, these things stack, right? So you think you're going in with this 40% thing because you want to gain some market share, but in reality, when you stack your promos and your PEDs and everything else, you could be loving your BSR, loving the sales, only to realize you gave up 80%. So like make sure you adjust any of that other stuff you have going on so that you don't get wiped out. I am not saying also that stacking deals is bad. I think stacking deals can be a good thing if you know it and your goal is to gain market share. If you have a subscribe and save product, it might be fantastic to do. If you're in growth mode and you want to get more eyeballs, fantastic to do in most cases. Just be aware of what you're doing. It's not a strategy if it just happens accidentally, because you're not going to be able to repeat it. So just be aware of it. The other one, for those of you that have an internal ad team or you work with an agency, this would be the time, and this is something that you're on the hook for to do, is that you need to go to them and reset your KPIs just for this Prime Day period. Like maybe adjust some campaigns because you're gonna do X, Y, and Z on Prime Day deals, okay? But like get with them to adjust those KPIs so that this doesn't turn into some surprise nightmare of yours. At the end of it, I find that personally, I find Prime Day to be the day to have the least profits. And it's only a day to gain a lot of market share or perhaps get a bunch of your subscribe and saves. So I am gonna take this off now and get into my screen a little bit. I'm just gonna check the computer over there to make sure that you are now able to see my screen. But first of all, one of the ways, and I do not recommend you do this, but if you wanna use it as a backup, I share this, every year. If you wanna find out if you do have anything accidentally stacking on the back end of your listing, check out Dan's deals. This is her 20th birthday, so I thought it was her 30th birthday. But if you have anything on the back end of your listing that is stacking the wrong way, like a promo and a coupon, that are giving 70% off to the customers instead of 35%. Dan's Deals is pretty amazing for checking that out. And all you need to do is just have this tab open if you want, or this link, and go to Amazon. And when you do, it's gonna sort this by best deals. And if you see, oh my God, my product's on this page, this is great, I have a backlink. No, this is not good, unless you're aware that something you did on the back end has you here. This person has a massive amount of traffic to their site. And they do this across everything, credit cards to airfare to a point, I mean, just all this kind of stuff. Tom, but on the shopping tab, which I think you should look at, electronic apparel, coupons, Amazon, all this stuff, it's just fantastic to check the back end of your listing to make sure nothing bad's going on. So let me just check that I'm sharing my screen. Oh, which I'm not.
Y unas losas que las desgracias se me cayeron. Nada
No worries.
interesante.
Sí, pero hay que preparar.
And by the way, these cubes that are here, those are mics. You're whispering like secrets of your company. It's probably being picked up close to that. It's meant because you can toss that around, and even someone as clumsy as Ramon, if it hit him in the head, it's cushioned, and it won't do anything. You can throw it on the floor, you can do anything with it, and as it's in the air, the mic cuts off, and then, so it's a smart mic.
Cool.
And someone can be near you. You don't have to hold it up like this. You can just be near you, and someone will be able to hear the question. And this is mostly for the people on the stream, so that just hearing me talk and not the question that was asked is sometimes an unpleasant experience. Working some kinks out of them, but eventually we'll have a lot more of these cubes, and maybe we won't have to even throw them around. But that is where we are at currently. What else do I have here? Oh, wanted to throw this around. Let me see if I can pull this listing up for everybody. I know I've been working with a lot more people in the group on this. Let's see if I can. So, a little follow-up on this, because a lot of you loved it when I showed it to you. And this is a listing that is leveraging a mobile app in their listing for the purposes of conversions. So I like pointing to this one, not because I think you should sell balloons on Amazon. I think that's a great way to get crushed by another Chinese factory that wants to just undercut you. But what's unique about this is everybody else in this category only sells their product for $9.95. The fact that they have this mobile app here, and this isn't even great, to be honest. I mean, I guess the text and everything looks playful like balloons, and I guess it matches the colors. But the fact that it has this app allows them to sell this thing for $10 more per sale. So think about that. They're selling their product for 100% more. You're not going to just be able to put this and sell your product for 100% more. This happened to be a product that was already pretty low on the price scale, but you should be able to sell your product for more and do really well. However, since this was the one that got most people's attention, I went ahead and bought the product. So I wanted to, I'll kind of try to talk this out, and if you're wondering why you can see this, why am I saying some of this stuff, it's so some people on the stream can look at this. They actually don't even have an app, which this could get them suspended. They need to have an actual, for this to be pulled off, the app has to be in the Google Play Store or the App Store. So this is not even an app, so this is against terms of service. However, it is working for them amazingly. We found that out, I think it was Ramon actually went in here and said, let's go get their app. And then we looked at it and we're like, balloon animal kit, so couldn't find an app under that. Balloon Play Store here for their brand, we couldn't find an app under that. So on the back, they have this tiny little QR code that you scan, and it basically just takes you to a form, and they're using it for lead generation. I think that is extremely underwhelming. But one of the benefits, and one of the red flags here is when you do have an app in the App Store on your listing, which is a technological differentiator, and I highly recommend it. When you do have it in the App Store, you're able to use what I think is gorgeous looking, the IP of the App Store, the Google Play and all that, and that's what really allows the value of your packaging and everything to stand out. You can't use it unless you are in the App Store. So a follow-up on that. I'll pass this around so you guys can look at it. I think it's pretty bad. If you look at the bottom left corner, it just says web app included. So pretty lousy, but not bad. I mean, I think the packaging has a good structure to it. It could have done better with the artwork, but it is a balloon animal kit at the end of the day. Questions? Anybody have any questions Amazon related? What's going on? It's pre-Prime Day, so I wanted to open this up for like ask me anything type questions that anybody has.
I think that'll be fun.
Not expecting much. Nobody has questions? I thought pre-Prime Day.
What service do you use to track your profits?
The bank, no. I don't know that I use a service.
Sellerize as well,
I don't use a software for it, but yeah, you totally could use Sellerize.
Sellerboard,
Sellerboard.
Sellerize, Scale Insights, it's quite a few.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some people from Scale Insights. We're going to be doing some presentations toward the end of the year here. We're just working out the details as to when they come in, so that could be one. Dima is local from Sellerize. He's presented.
Yes, questions.
Oh, you got it. Sellerize, which is a good one. Sellerboard, we have a ton of people in the group. Where I used to recommend Sellerboard a lot in like 2019, 2020. There's a podcast too with the founder, Vlad, or Vladi, if you wanted to listen to it. But I would say on the scale of affordability, they're all great. But on affordability, you probably have to start with Sellerboard, then Sellerize, then Scale Insights.
So the question was, so you
We're
said,
passing the packaging to you, so you can keep passing it.
how much is the, how much to invest on a app in a reasonable price? What's the range?
So there was an agency that Andres had, that he's not here right now, he's in Puerto Rico, called eUnleash, that did him for $1,500. I bought eUnleash. I knew him and helped him start it, so it's not really like sounding like I bought it is not as glamorous as it sounds. But I bought it, so now I offer that. So if you're interested in that, just I guess connect with me outside of the meetup group and we can work something out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So is there anything like we can figure out the starting?
It's $1,500 to build it, get it in the App Store, get everything you need there, and then there's an amount depending on what you're adding to the app that is for hosting moving forward. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But totally worth it. It should pay for itself almost immediately.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other? Really? I thought you guys were gonna have a ton of questions today, so I didn't even set anything up.
So we've been listening on the way up.
Okay, that works.
What is that new thing that I keep hearing that Amazon's dealing directly with China? They're trying to compete with Temu and all that.
Yeah, I think so. Two sides to that, and let me pull this off the screen because we're going to be talking and people are not just staring at a balloon on the screen the whole time. So a few things on that. One, what it is that Amazon already has the logistics in place, and has been for a while, to get stuff quickly from China into FBA. Whether it's AGL, AWD, there's a whole bunch of acronyms between China and FBA where you buy stuff. But they've really, probably better than anyone in the world, have done that. On the other side, you have Temu Machine and all them that are taking advantage or leveraging this whole de minimis something that basically the United States government is subsidizing the shipping. I personally hate the fact that that's a thing, but they're subsidizing the shipping to be able to get stuff from China that's under pretty high amount, like under $800, and that weighs less than a lot of products. To be able to get it over here without getting stopped in customs, without paying any taxes or tariffs, and they're able to sell it for almost dirt cheap. I would not have, a little aside, I would not have a problem with that. I have no problem losing to a competitor. I do have a problem is that I'm not allowed to do the reverse back. That's my big problem there. I don't find that to be fair, not getting into politics, I don't find that to be fair trade. Whatever, that is the case, and big companies are able to take advantage of that. My guess is that Amazon feels like at least Temu is cutting too much into what used to be just theirs, deeming them as a competitor, and has decided, well, we could just do that. Like all the stuff that people could get on Temu, they could get on Amazon and buy from Amazon, and they would get a piece of that. And I think from that side of like that strategy to compete, I think it's brilliant on their part. I don't think that is good for a lot of us. But if you're selling a product that is a Me Too product, this not a lot has changed here, right? If you were selling a very cheap product on Amazon anyway, you were already having a lot of problems. Like nothing got too much worse for you here. You're already in a really bad spot. But if you are selling a product right now that is under 2 pounds, that is basically everything that the courses teach you to get, that criteria that you use, that all the courses and the gurus tell you that you should do to source your private label products. If you're doing that, you're in a lot of trouble. Because I'm already seeing screenshots of this on LinkedIn. Somebody that was selling something for $25, $3.95. Just not plus $15 shipping, nothing. $3.95, and you're able to wait. I think you gotta wait like 9 to 11 days, possibly that long. You know, it's being sent at that point through Amazon Logistics to you. Would you wait 9 days? I think a lot of people are gonna wait 9 to 11 days to get a $20 plus in savings on things that they're not brand loyal about. I would order, if I was ordering this balloon animal kit and the birthday was in a month or two, I'm not brand loyal to this, I would totally do it. I'm not about to start getting my toilet paper there, you know, that way. But I think if you're in that scenario, you're in a lot of trouble. I do think, but you've been encroaching on the grounds of trouble for a while. This just really expedited it. I would definitely have this in mind when you're approaching product selection moving forward. There's a, and I'm going to tie this back in, but there's like a school of thought with selecting products or people that are anti-Amazon, that Amazon just waits for your product to be very successful and then they copy it, right? I'm very connected in this space via the meetup group and everything else. I do not know of a single person that that's happened to personally, and I have not met someone who says, my BFF, it happened to. But I see it taking up a good percentage of the media, and I see it taking up a good percentage of the conversation with someone who's going out of business or not happy with the profits in their business. So I'm not saying it's never happened, but I don't think that that's as much of a concern as it should be. In the case of adding something though to how you're approaching product selection and why I think you should here, knowing that Amazon does create their own brands and sells direct, I think you should have that in mind, and not because it's Amazon, because it's anyone else. If you're gonna get into towels, if you're gonna get into selling bath towels, you know what, Amazon, that's something that's in every house in the US. Probably don't get the white, beige, or navy blue bath towel, because if they got into it, that's the ones they would sell, right? If you want to get into psychedelic, you know, or licensed or anything, I think that's still phenomenal. So I'm just factoring that in to like strategically into how I'm going about sourcing products. I think you should now layer in another layer, it doesn't have to be that complicated, of I'm sourcing a product. It's a Me Too product, Me Too meaning it's just like everything else that's out there. I literally copied the title from Amazon, looked at the image, sourced on Alibaba, and that same image popped up, right? I'm just gonna, if you're doing that, Me Too product, under 25 bucks, lightweight, and you're following that filter, and you're not factoring that in, you could possibly see an end of times extinction event in your business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. To not make this a doomsday type thing, because I do not believe it is, this is one of those things that cuts both ways. So if you do sell a Me Too product, and you are gonna lean really into like USA branding and USA marketing vibes and all this stuff here, you can also take advantage of this program, right? If you're getting your stuff manufactured in China and it is fitting this criteria, you can also list it at those prices and take advantage of the same de minimis, the same everything sourced from China. The thing is gonna have to be the factory that you're working with, is you're not competing against them. But it possibly opened up an entirely other selling model that you could explore. People are beginning to explore how to sell on Temu and how to sell on Shein themselves, and that are starting thriving businesses. I'm not knowledgeable on how to do that firsthand, but there's people that instead of looking at this as, this is horrible, it's end of times, I can't do a business, they've just said, well, let me explore that model, and what is it, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, let me just go around the back end of this and let me do the same thing. So consider that. Consider both of those things when you do it. Finally, it's very possible that this, I don't know, I'm gonna say it backfires on Amazon. I don't know, I'm not qualified enough to say that. My GED did not like qualify me to make that call, but what was I gonna say here? If this does really take off, and we're assuming here that it's going to be amazing and that there's not gonna be a backlash on it and Amazon kills it, right? But assuming that it does amazing, it's going to kind of retrain people to not expect stuff. Like when I order something on Amazon, I can grab a random thing right now and jump on Amazon, and it's probably gonna give me an option to have it delivered at 4 a.m. tomorrow, okay? I look for that now. I'm not really feeling 9 to 11 days to get something. But if this was to take off, it's kind of gonna retrain people that it's not that bad to receive stuff in 9 to 11 days. And if so, that spells really good news for Shopify. Shopify sellers, your own D2C platform, that your biggest thing is, man, I can't deliver it to the customer fast enough without crushing my profit margins. You could start sending stuff direct from China. There's a company called Portless that I think we'll hear a lot about over the next year. And what Portless does is Portless will get, again, the criteria that we just mentioned with weight, value, and all this other stuff. Portless will deliver your products from China. One-off orders, by the way, like one of these. They will deliver your products from China to your customer here in the US, not in Chinese packaging, right? Looks like it's something from the US. So if you have a beauty brand, sometimes there's a stigma on that. It's like wrapped in orange from DHL and coming from China, right? But like, that looks like it came from the United States Postal Service or FedEx, has a shipping address of somewhere in the US in 2 to 3 days. That's prime, right? Actually, they say 3 to 5 days, but they showed me on the back end where it's 2 to 4 days from China. So what they do is they receive your products, Portless does, and they hold it, and then they're constantly shipping, immediately coming over, and they have a partner that gets it and then expedites it from this end. So it's possible that this creates an entire other opportunity on Amazon for us. So as a brand owner who's like put their blood, sweat, and tears into like doing this, it doesn't sit well with me, to be honest. Like there's still, it's another layer of concern that I don't feel like I should be having to deal with, but we do. Just use it as motivation to consider yourself as more than just an Amazon brand is the best answer I can think of. Does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what would that do to PPC costs? Because now the margins are so small.
I don't know, but that is a concern that a lot of us are having. You don't have a lot of PPC room at $3.95 when you sell it. So I don't know how that would play out. Is the brand willing to take a loss for all? Here's my concern. My concern is somebody's gonna create a listing, they're gonna sell something for $3.95. And they're gonna put PPC on it to even lose 50 cents to $1 per sale. They're gonna ramp this thing up to like 3,000 reviews, and then they're gonna change the listing and turn it into a $80 product that looks like it has 1,000+ reviews, and that we're gonna see that happening, and that would be very damaging, because that's black hat, but if you're in the category of what they picked, you're gonna lose pretty bad and pretty rapidly. One other thing I'll bring up, since you guys are not loaded with questions pre-Prime Day, is something I've been discovering over the last few weeks. So we've been considering offering a TikTok service, right? But I'm not gonna offer something unless I think I can do it like absolutely amazing. So I talked to some TikTok agencies, and some of them actually are gonna be presenting in the coming months. So we're gonna have a lot more stuff talking about TikTok. But one of the things that we were doing is I was like, they also wanted to get into the Amazon services side of the stuff. So I'm like, here, I'll show you all my SOPs, show you everything we do. And we're very transparent. Like, I do want to do the TikTok thing you're doing. You do want to see this. Like, this is what's going on. One thing is knowing how to do TikTok. I can run ads, but one thing is knowing how to do it, and the other one is having the systems in place to deal with this quickly as a service for someone else. So a few things that I found that were pretty mind-blowing about TikTok, and it just made me like rethink almost everything. So two things. One of them I think is great for Amazon wholesalers, and it seems that with very few exceptions, you can list almost anything on TikTok shops to sell, even things that you're gated for on Amazon, right? And I was like, no way.
That's us.
I was like, there's no way. So I come from that time. Like, I was in an extra space storage unit as my warehouse. We had trucks coming to deliver stuff, and I would order a 20-foot container of aerators, and they thought I had a lot of foot traffic at my storefront, right? And no one really knew, and I wasn't gonna correct them. And we listed this stuff, and it just flew, and eventually those aerators, years later get gated, they get more competition, and it stopped being a thing. But there was a heyday there where you just could have bought a bunch of properties on some random product. You remember those days. And that opportunity exists right now on TikTok. I don't know why I didn't connect those dots. I feel like I almost failed you guys in the group by not connecting those dots. But if you're into the Amazon wholesale space, those people that tell you, no, we don't sell to Amazon sellers, you can sell on TikTok shops. And it seems to be extraordinarily easy to get traction and some sales on TikTok by looking at the back end of what they were doing. So that was one thing. I think it's very, very Wild West days. I mean, depending on what channel you're watching, they're about to ban TikTok in the US, or it's about to be the next, it's gonna be the Amazon killer, right? They don't need to kill Amazon for me, but a close second would be fantastic for everyone, right? So that was one thing. If you're in the Amazon wholesale space, I highly recommend you refer back to the list of people that told you, no, we don't sell to Amazon sellers, and now look them as opportunities for you to sell. And you just need to set up a TikTok shop, right? Which for some people is a 5-minute process, and for other people, they're suspended and being told to wait, 9, 13 times? Tom, how many times do they tell you to reapply before you?
It's only after 9 times to let them know.
After 9 times to let them know. But so that's one. The other part of this, and this is gonna be more for the brand owners here, and this is gonna run right up until we announce Liz to come on and ask her tough questions. But the other one is this. These same agencies I was talking to, they offered a influencer service. And I had heard of these things in the past, and it was like, tap into our network of influencers to help you launch this thing. And I was like, well, that's not a superpower that I have. I don't know how to build these influencers. So while I had another agency there just opening the kimono, is that an appropriate thing to say? Or is it maybe opening the books? Yeah, opening the books.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot where I was. Opening the books, right?
Don't go that far.
No kimono? You thought of me? Opening the books and showing me what's going on. I was like, how did you do that? Like, how did you build this network? And what I found is some people offer this, tap into our influencer network, and they are really only good in one vertical. Like they have a really strong group of beauty influencers, but if you try to go work with them on like sports, it's like no good. But they still take your money and start the service, you know, in the hopes that it might. So I was like, how do you do this? And this is what they do, and I personally think this is genius. I was sharing it with some of the guys on Friday, is they list a product on TikTok shops. They offer a heavy affiliate commission to that product. I've not been able to crack the code on this other side, but the TikTok affiliate side, the people that are doing it, makes the Amazon influencer side look like small change. I mean, they're doing quickly doing 40, 50, 60, and even higher numbers, thousands per month. I've not been able to crack it, but I know that they're there. And I know what they look for is high commissions. So they're offering this heavy commission, and then you can't see this as a shopper. But the influencers see this as an opportunity, and they start creating a whole bunch of content. But what happens is when they create content and start getting some sales, they reach out to the brand. So you now have influencers contacting you to get a free product, to see if we can do other collabs, to all these different things. And you're basically building like a CRM, a network of your own influencers. So if you were willing, like say you knew you were gonna get into X category and you were gonna launch something in Q2 of next year or whatever, you gotta know your numbers here, but it may make sense to just do some really crazy, get some AliExpress item that, you know, doesn't break or doesn't plug into something or whatever, but just, I don't know, glow in the dark dog collars, right? And put them on there and offer 70%. If you knew you were gonna get into a pet product, offer 70% on this. Let everyone go bonkers in creating this content and reaching out to you. Build up this big network so that you can reach out to them and say, hey, I'm about to launch X, work with me. And he's doing it in all these verticals. Well, in this case, they're also charging people to tap into their list. So I thought it was pretty genius how they were doing it. We'll go into TikTok stuff a lot, again, through the meetups, a lot of the meetups in the remainder of this year, but all that from your point is like, it's gonna open up opportunities, there's gonna be some opportunities, it really should influence your product selection process, but it doesn't have to be a doomsday thing.
Her beauty is not touched because nobody buys beauty from China.
There are some people that do buy beauty from China, and it is actually a rapidly growing percentage. It's just still such a small percentage compared to everywhere else. But there's a lot of Asian beauty brands, especially Korea especially, but like there is a rapidly growing percentage of beauty products. It's kind of like tea and coffee. Like coffee is rapidly growing in China, but they predominantly drink tea, and we predominantly drink coffee in the US, but tea is a rapidly growing segment, and it's just based on like how saturated the other one is. So food products I think would be mostly hit unless you're like native to that country and you're looking for a specific food, but I'm probably not. Apparel, yeah, but I'm not gonna go look at like, I need to order my mayonnaise. I need to go order my mayonnaise, I want, you know, the Shenzhen mayonnaise, you know what I mean? Like I'm not going there. But, yeah, got time for one question?
Is it hard to get approved to sell on TikTok?
No. No.
What is?
Is it hard to get approved to sell on TikTok?
No.
It's not hard, but I just been through another experience here, and now they're taking their time to review your listing. So I had one listing is under my brand, and it took me like 2 weeks to review in to approve.
Yeah, and to repeat the question.
To get approved to sell that product, not to get approved.
Yeah, so to repeat the question though for people, in case you couldn't hear Ting, the question was, is it hard to sell on TikTok? And Ting mentioned no, except the process of reviewing your listing that you're gonna be selling is getting longer. And I think that's probably just probably like a manpower thing, just because they're blowing up so fast. And less about they're trying to make it harder for you to get in.
Yeah. I do notice now, especially from last month, when I'm posting, it takes way longer than big Q2, beginning of this year. And when you post, they're just 5 minutes approved. And now, that's the last month, 2 weeks. Takes 2 weeks to approve.
Is it like Amazon that they already have the listings already
No,
built?
it's
or-
No.
your listing.
So you have to create your own listings on.
It's more like eBay in that
eBay.
sense.
Yeah, even.
Yeah. Which is a shocker, but it's whatever works. Yeah, all right, let's do this. Liz mentioned that when we wrap up at 3:30, she might be able to hang around for a little bit to do some networking, but in her presentation, we'll cover questions and stuff. By the way, do you mind if people ask questions throughout?
Ask as we go.
Okay, so we're gonna ask questions throughout as you have questions. Anyone who has questions on the stream, I'll be looking at the stream, you just let me know, I'll ask on your behalf. If you want to private message me on Telegram, just because you're too embarrassed to ask the question, I will say asking for a friend on your behalf, but ask the question. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take like as short as possible, maximum 5 minutes. I'm gonna get Liz set up here. If you wanna stretch, use the bathroom, grab some coffee or food here in the front, just listen up for me when I say, hey, we're getting started, let's sit down as fast as possible. Just because Liz is not local. She's got some connections locally, and I want to take full advantage of the time that she is here to do some Amazon influencer crushing, okay? Cool.
I don't get home as often as I like, so it's nice having her face to face.
Oh, you said home,
This is the HDMI. I'm just trying to get my stuff out of the way, so I just want to interrupt you. It's a hot mic. I got a hot mic if you're asking me something. Have you ever met Liz?
I've seen you somewhere.
Okay, this is the hot mic. The email that I have for you.
Liz, yeah, I think it's just Liz, whatever.
I'm like looking at the face and I'm like, okay. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna send you a link.
I was just laughing how
I don't think it's an issue, but when you open it, to get the link, the email's gonna be visible. So if you want to just get the HDMI.
My email's usually pretty clean, but you just never know. You're just using Liz ad influencer Sorry, are you using Liz ad influencer fruit? Is that the one? I can't remember.
Let me see.
2 months. Well, I'm not gonna travel that much.
No, what do you want to use?
It doesn't matter. Liz ad influencer fruit. They're taking notes. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Okay, that's good, that's good. All right, so pull your email.
Yep, it's up.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Meet you.
I need to get your plan. This is jacked. So drop the volume all the way
Do you want these?
doesn't matter, it's gonna get muted for that.
I'm covering right now wholesale. When, trying my planning for 2025, I'm doing planning private label.
All right, so now you want to pick entire stream. That's where our gives issues. You can connect, you can shut your email numbers, connect.
Yeah. I follow guys that
I'm gonna go off the slides to the browser, but, so I'll share the slides full screen using them, and then I'll move over, because I've got.
So if you can, when we get over there, pull your slides up, move the slide, and when you your browser, I want to make sure that I'm catching up.
Okay.
wholesale and we jump on the private label. You will learn all the back end of the system and how it works. The Addison financial. And you will be able to.
No, you're seeing over here, your HDMI is mine.
Oh, okay. This is mine, I put yours over there next to you.
Go to browser. That's what. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we're good. Go to wherever you want to start it.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. You guys ready? We're gonna do it.
You're gonna need to start putting the server on this phone.
On one hand, you gotta love it.
I love it. Absolutely.
Let's get rolling, guys. Good, everybody good?
Hey, let's just lock the
All right. Some of you have been here for a bit, also. Some of you haven't, and then some of you have shown up new from the stream. I've known of Liz from afar for, it feels like much longer than a decade, but a decade in space. I'm sure some of this stuff she may touch on in her introduction, so I won't steal it, but super reputable in the space. And to go that long without hearing something that says a lot in this space. And then recently, Carmen, amazing Carmen, made an official introduction of us both, the famous influencer Carmen Carmencita, made a formal introduction in the group after meeting at, what was the conference?
Seller Summit.
At Seller Summit, right. So we immediately connected, we had a call, I got to see behind the scenes of the tool, the software. I hear there's even more stuff that's rolling out. She hinted at some stuff on the call that's coming, which I won't spoil. Very amazing. It's going to be the software that I use in the influencer space. Because to date, I've not really been a fan of the softwares in the space. So a lot of amazing stuff to learn from here. Remember, ask a lot of questions. It's Saturday in Miami. You could be anywhere. And this is one of those models that would have changed everything for me when I started. Instead of thrifting, arbitrage, and garage sales. So would have been very different, a lot less gray hair, I was saying earlier. So thank you so much, Liz.
So we were joking earlier about Jeff Bezos. I did go to the same high school as Jeff Bezos, and so maybe that's where, I guess some of my inspiration. I did, I went to Palmetto High School, so we have quite a few famous current alum. But I wish I had been there with Jeff, but I never have met him, so. All right, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to come and chat with you guys. Like Carlos said, I actually did a retail arbitrage coaching, I showed up as an attendee 6 years ago with Wizards of Ecom. And so have been kind of in and around even this community for many years, but had never had an opportunity to meet Carlos until Carmen made that intro. Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. I like to, save some of the surprises,
I love it.
right? And so I've really learned a ton, just kind of being in and around. I told Carlos a minute ago, I was over there taking notes while he was talking, some of the things that I hadn't heard. But I have been in the Amazon space for almost a decade now. I'm just gonna tell you guys, this is my relief face for being a skimmer. Carlos sent me a text that said I had from 2 to 3:30, and I read that as 30 minutes
And so I came in here prepared to plow through all of this for you guys in 30 minutes, and we were gonna get it done. So now I'm like breathing a sigh of relief. I was like, oh, thank God, we can like take our time. But when I started in the ecom space, it was 2015, and I started with all of the things that we talk about, right? Which is lightweight, low cost, not breakable items. And so I started by selling disposable rain ponchos for kids. I was a single mom at the time, and kind of like my favorite part of it was that it paid my mortgage as I got started. Made a couple critical errors just as I started figuring things out. Like I started trying to sell $4 one packs, which you would never even in 2015 make money on. But learned as we went, started selling 3-packs, started to be profitable, and then went to work for Jungle Scout for 6 years. Yes, really enjoyed my time there. I left about 15 months ago as Greg Mercer's chief of staff, which was a lot of fun, so I got to work directly with Greg. Learned a ton, was able to work directly as part of my job at Jungle Scout with both Amazon and Walmart, as well as, of course, many, many sellers of all sizes, which has been a lot of fun. I think when you think about Amazon, because people ask me a lot of times like, oh, are you gonna branch out to this or that, or TikTok or Instagram, you know, management, those sorts of things. But I really love the Amazon space, and we can all say all of the good things and the bad things that we know about the space, but Amazon has really been good to me and has been something that from affiliate to KDP to merch to retail arbitrage to private label, I've kind of played around in all of the spaces. And to echo what Carlos said, if Influencer had been up and running in 2015, I probably never would have invested in disposable rain ponchos for kids, right? It was a very fun adventure, but when I got an authenticity complaint and it ended up taking down my listing, like it killed that stream of revenue, right? Whereas in the influencer space, I wouldn't have had anything invested, and it just has like a much easier start. So what we're gonna go over today, I am gonna do a little bit of a 101. So if you are not yet familiar with the Amazon Influencer program and what it takes to get in and everything else, we're going to do a compact version of the 101 so that you can come up to speed. We're gonna spend most of our time doing product research and how to scale the program. So this is gonna be kind of like an intermediate to advanced portion once we get into the product research portion. And then at the end, I know that we have a lot of sellers in here. I will also be happy to take questions for how sellers can work with content creators who are in the Amazon Influencer program. So we're gonna cover like quite a bit. Please don't be afraid to interrupt me and just ask questions. I find that it's much easier to just kind of like have the conversation as we go, as opposed to trying to reframe context from 20 minutes ago and get that answer in a way that is really helpful. So, all right, so that's me. All right, so Amazon did us a little bit of a disservice when they named this program the Amazon Influencer Program. It was started in 2017 as a way to let content creators who were in the affiliate or the associates program send people to Amazon in a way that was FTC compliant, in like things like emails and other things, because on our, let's see, I'm gonna jump out of this real fast, because on our storefronts for Amazon influencers, it discloses this earns commission, right? So this was the very first portion of the Amazon Influencer program, was the storefront. And this was just for associates to send traffic to. Now, as time went by, and I think we've seen that over the time, let's call it like 7 years now, Amazon started to realize that what was happening outside of Amazon, they could capitalize on. And that is that user-generated content converts better than brand content. People, shoppers trust user-generated content more than they trust brand content. It has a better conversion level, right? And so I think what happened, nobody at Amazon has told me this, but I just imagine the inner workings of Amazon, is that they looked around and they were like, we also want UGC, and the customer reviews that we get are not sufficient. And they saw that they had this group of content creators in the associates program who were already approved for what they had called the influencer program with these storefronts, and so they moved into shoppable videos, which is what we'll talk about mostly today. So when we talk about influencer for Amazon today, I want you to take whatever you think of when I say the word influencer and put it aside, right? Because the first thing that comes to your mind and everybody's mind when I say the word influencer is a TikTok, an Instagram, a YouTube content creator who's driving traffic from that platform to Amazon, right? That's not what we're talking about. We're gonna talk about Amazon influencers who are content creators. They have those things, but their focus is to create content that actually lives on Amazon. So when I say influencer today, let's just think about that, and I will try and use the universal term content creator for all things that cover across both spaces. So this is content that's uploaded directly to Amazon, and if you, as a content creator, have content, you can repurpose it, you can create specific content that only lives on Amazon. But the interesting thing is that you are not required to share it anywhere else, right? So this is not one of those things where you have to create content about products on Amazon and then put it on your Instagram account, but you can, or it can only live on Amazon. But the nice thing that Amazon lets you do is they're not exclusive to your content. You continue to own it, it just lives on their platform. And the way that Amazon influencers earn commission is people interact with your content, make a buying decision, you make a small commission. Now, to compare to the associates piece, right? As an associate or an affiliate on Amazon, you have a 24-hour cookie for the entire cart that somebody buys, right? So from my YouTube channel, I push somebody over, they fill their cart, I get a 24-hour cookie of everything in their cart. As an Amazon influencer, I only get a commission of one item, and that is either the item that I have content on and they made a buying decision for, or what I call a one-click arm's distance product. So like if you watch my video on my frozen drink maker, my Margaritaville, but you go and buy a Ninja right after that, I get that commission instead. But it's only the one item, it's not the entire cart. So you can start to see kind of like the differences, right? You've got off-site affiliate, you're driving traffic to. You've got on-site influencer, you're taking advantage of traffic that Amazon and the seller are driving to that product listing. All right, so let's talk about first how you qualify for the program. And again, this is just the basic 101 so that everybody's on the same page. There are 4 platforms that you can qualify for the program with: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Facebook and Instagram have to be a business account. So you can't just say, oh, I've got 5,000 friends on Facebook, it's my personal account, and qualify. They won't take that. Facebook and Instagram, switch over. If you have a choice, Instagram is much easier to convert to a business account. It takes like 2 clicks in the back ends of your profile. YouTube happens to be one of the most difficult to get approved with because Amazon is looking at not just your follower account, but your active engagement and how often you're posting. And we know that YouTube is a long burn, right? Like it takes a while to build a YouTube channel. TikTok happens to be the easiest to get approved with. I have a couple theories on this, but one of them, and this is the least conspiracy theorist of my theories on this, is that TikTok is built for engagement, which is what Amazon really wants you to have, is a heavily engaged audience. And so we see people get approved with 200 followers on TikTok, but they're posting consistently and they've got good engagement. We see people with Facebook groups of 100,000 that are kind of old, they have a lot of like people in there, but they're not as engaged, and they get declined for the program. So if you were like, Liz, this all sounds amazing, who should I start with? I would go start a TikTok channel, right? If you just wanted to get in from the ground up. Post 2 or 3 times a day. It can be faceless, you don't even have to be on there. It doesn't have to be reviews, it can be about your dog. Build that and then apply. You can apply for the program as many times as you want. It's unlimited. There is the next step, once you get in, where this is the limited part, right? So when you get into the program using whichever platform we just talked about, you are going to very quickly do 3 very simple product reviews, shoppable videos, unboxings. And this is going to trigger the next part of the process, and this is the most critical. This is going to be where you are approved for what's called on-site placement, and I'll show you here in a minute where all of this content shows up. But on-site placement is where you're going to make your money in the influencer program, right? Because this is where people are going to find you just as they're shopping, not where you're driving traffic. Now, once you're in, I just recommend pick 3 products that you can sit down in front of your iPhone with and just talk about for 30 to 60 seconds. Don't try and be fancy, make sure your audio's good. Plain background, nothing behind you, because Amazon has really funny filters about personal information. And this is going to take anywhere from 3 to 5 days to 4 to 6 weeks for them to review and get you approved, okay? That's why I recommend you just do it as quickly as possible, because depending on the year, it's gonna take longer. So if you think about your seller cycles of Q4 and how customer service is slower, intake for your inventory is slower, all of that stuff, reviews for your first 3 videos, also slower in Q4 and coming out of Q4 into Q1. So get that part done. Once Amazon approves you, you'll get an email, and when you get to this page, which is your back end of your Seller Central, your Associate Central, it will show you like a pop-up that says, congratulations, welcome to on-site. You can now create videos that will show up or can show up on the product listings. So that's your very first step once you're in. Now, Carlos actually talked about this at the very beginning a little bit, but there's actually a couple ways that you can make money in the program. The first and the third one are the majority of it, right? Which is you earn commission when people see your content on Amazon and then make a buying decision. And the third one is flat fees from brands for creating content. So once you're in the program, you get a lot of brands who want that on-site content, who want to work with you directly. They have a couple different ways, and we'll talk about some of this in the scaling portion, so we'll go into it, but there's flat fee or there's additional commission attached. And then the third one, which is in the middle there, is earn affiliate revenue by posting the video on your other channels. So you do have other channels that you can add to this to add to that commission. All right, so I'm going to actually move over, and we're gonna spend a majority of today on Amazon, because I want you to see where people are seeing this. Amazon's stated purpose for this program is to help buyers make more confident buying decisions, which to me is really fascinating, because it is the one program in the Amazon space that literally touches everybody in the ecosystem, right? Amazon's going to make more money because buyers are buying more. Buyers are gonna make more confident buying decisions because they have input and user-generated feedback on products as they shop. Sellers make more because they are converting better, and then the influencer makes a commission. I mean, it's a literal win all across the board. So let's look at some of the places that you will see the influencer content. So the number one place, let's talk a little bit about the seller side, because this group is gonna know a lot about this as well. In order to have this upper carousel here, and this is the number one placement that I can give you ROI numbers on for where we as influencers make money and how it impacts seller conversion rates. In order to have this upper carousel, a seller has to be brand registered, and they have to have uploaded at least one product video. So if you're a content creator working within this program and you're working with brands who don't have this yet, you can actually coach them on how to go create this placement, right? So brand registered, product video from the brand, and from there it creates this upper carousel. Now, in this upper carousel, you're going to see 2 sections in this one, sometimes there's 3. Videos for this product is going to be the actual brand's videos. Brands can have 1 to 5 videos at the moment, and it doesn't take away from the influencer videos, which are just below, but we want at least 1. When we go down here, these related videos are actually Amazon influencers who have created content for this exact listing. Now here we have an example of two, and you'll see, like, if we click into this, she's talking about this storage container right here next to it, right? I'm assuming she's got a voiceover and she's just like talking about it as she goes. But what you'll see here is she's got next to, under any Amazon influencer's name, you've got earns commission. And if you click into this, you can see her storefront and see everything that she's created content for, which I'll do that here in a little bit. But before we leave the upper carousel, there is sometimes a third section down here called customer reviews. Now, customer reviews for content creators or for the Amazon influencers does not impact if we think that listing is competitive or not, but I just want you to be aware that there are sometimes, or there is sometimes a third portion of this carousel. All right, so now we're gonna move over into product research. That was kind of the 101, and I think actually before I move, do you guys have any questions about kind of like the basics of the program before we jump into product research? Yes?
To get approved, using Facebook, would there have to be a seasoned, account?
Good question. So the question was, if you want to be approved by Facebook, does it have to be a seasoned account? And the answer is yes. So Amazon is pretty good about figuring out, like, if you bought the account or if you went in and like created one new and like pulled a bunch of people in. If you wanted to do something like that, TikTok doesn't require quite as long of a seasoning, so to speak. Like, you could probably spend 2 months on TikTok really putting your time in. And for the amount of time that it would take you to take a Facebook account at any time, I just recommend you spend the time on TikTok. Good question. Yes?
So TikTok, it also have to be business account, right?
Facebook and Instagram have to be a business account. TikTok and YouTube do not. They don't, yeah. So your TikTok could be your personal TikTok account. They don't care.
You said to qualify to be on your video to be on the upper carousel, you said you have to be brand registered, and what was the other thing that you said?
Sorry, that's for sellers.
Okay.
The seller has to be brand registered.
Right.
And has to have a product video.
Got it, for the seller. Okay.
For the influencer, you have to complete this 3 videos, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, you have to be approved for months, okay.
Carmen, heads up, just.
In case I'm off. I almost made it.
This is the screen for if you're an influencer, you upload 3 videos and wait for Amazon's on-site placement approval.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Liz, question. So as an influencer, I'm trying to upload videos sometimes, and I'll notice that my video, even though the brand has a video up there,
Yes.
there are no videos or influencer videos showing.
Mhm.
Me as a seller at the same time, I've never seen a toggle switch where I can disallow someone to show there. Any insights on
I love this.
why that happens? Because I don't know.
Yeah, I can help. Carlos, making sure he's got the mic so they can hear his question on stream.
Yeah, they hear it.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure if I needed to repeat. So there's a couple possibilities there. One, you are correct that on the seller side, there is no way to toggle on and off Amazon influencer videos on your product listing. So first, that one. There are a couple categories where they don't have an upper carousel. Specifically, fashion and apparel is the biggest one. I don't know why they do that. They use things like what used to be called the Discover feed to populate carousels on fashion and apparel, but they don't have an upper carousel. But you'll see that the brand can upload videos into their image slots. But even the brand is not creating carousels by uploading multiples onto fashion apparel. So that's one possibility. The second possibility is that it's Apple or Dell, and they have those special contracts with Amazon where they control what goes onto their product listing different than an average brand would be able to. So like on an Apple listing, you won't see an upper carousel with Amazon influencers in it, but you might see a lower carousel down below the fold with Amazon influencers on it and related products sometimes. Third option is that the brand is not brand registered, and they have uploaded a video into an image spot. And actually, I'm gonna show you.
That might be it.
And the other one's Vendor Central.
That might be it.
Vendor
Yeah,
Central
that's probably
you can
it.
block.
Yeah, oh, Vendor Central, you can
On
block.
Vendor Central, you can block.
Interesting, I didn't know that one. I'm not gonna be able to remember the name of the product. If I remember it, I'll pull it up, because a friend of mine is not brand registered, but she has videos and
That
they
makes
just show up
sense.
in the image.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, great question.
And Liz, here,
Yes.
because you were talking about the first three videos, and I was approved back in February, and for a Facebook business page.
Great.
And I just lack of exercising on the page, so I submitted 2 times my videos, and the gentleman says it's great, but I still got denied. So with that account, I have 1 more attempt. And my question here is, whenever you submit it, the videos to Amazon, does Amazon go review your
Socials.
again, or they don't?
Okay, so the question is, she got approved with a Facebook account in February. She has submitted twice for the on-site approval. You have 3 attempts. And so the question is, when Amazon is reviewing the videos for on-site placement, are they also looking at your socials as like a secondary?
Yeah.
So Amazon doesn't tell us this, but here's what I'll tell you anecdotally, watching lots of people apply. My answer would be yes. And so we see a lot of people get in, specifically with Facebook profiles or business accounts, who don't make it through the 3 on-site videos. And I think it's because of engagement, and I think it's because of just, it's harder for whatever reason with Facebook. What I would recommend, if you were like, hey, where should I go from here? I would take a shot at your 3rd round. It is, every denial that you get for your first 3 videos has probably been quality, right? That's what it said. It's almost never quality, because I'm sure you had great audio, all those things. That's their catch-all denial reason, right, for on-site placement. What I would do, go ahead and throw your last 3 up.
Okay.
Save those videos,
Okay.
right? Go start building your TikTok.
Okay.
Or whatever you get, because you have a TikTok already for your
Yes.
business, right? Apply with your TikTok account and see if you can get in with it.
Okay, so with the TikTok account, is that okay to do with the brand account or your personal account?
Either one, you can do TikTok with a brand or a personal account. Yes, sir, Carlos?
Okay.
Questions are coming in.
Yeah, let's do this.
I'm fielding the ones you've already answered,
Okay.
but some of the other ones I'd rather hear from you, so. You don't have to repeat these either, because they're saying, if my
Okay.
3 videos get denied, what steps can I take to address the issue and get them approved? I think you just answered some of that.
Yeah, if your 3 videos are denied, I would go ahead and you have to start another social. If you've been denied 3 times, start another social, pour into that for 2 or 3 months, specifically TikTok, and then try again. And keep up your engagement on whatever social you got approved with while you're waiting for that approval.
If I can add on to that before you change the topic, I think
Yeah.
it's really important that when you're approved for that first time, you're approved as an Amazon associate, and you're trying to get approved for the Amazon on-site placement. And when you've gotten denied 3 times, you have to actually remove yourself as an Amazon associate completely and then reapply.
Interesting.
Otherwise, they're saying that
You've already done it.
you've already done it. So you have to say, I'm no longer an associate, completely shut everything down, and then reapply again.
Okay, that's fascinating. I didn't know that part. Thank you. Carlos, you got a question? I'll come to you.
This one's the big one. For your 3 product review videos, can they be faceless with a voiceover? Does it matter so long as you have a plain white background?
Okay, it can be faceless. You don't have to be in the videos. We have a lot of, actually I have one of the women who does reviews for me all the time through the agency. She's faceless, and it doesn't matter. Amazon doesn't care. What I think I like to remind people is that Amazon says their purpose is to help buyers make more confident buying decisions, and my face does not necessarily impact a buying decision, right? So if I can show you with my hands with how I use this product and talk about it, that's value for the shopper. So I would focus on that more than like how you look and those sorts of things. I tend to appear in my videos, but that's not a big deal. You don't have to. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I applied for the business account first. I did the 3 videos
Yeah.
3 times, never approved. So now I apply for another social media, Instagram, I'm still denied. So,
Was your first one Facebook?
yeah, I closed that account
Okay.
because I was denied all the videos, and now I apply with the Instagram.
Yeah.
So business account,
Yep.
and then I've been denied the videos again, so.
I would do TikTok. I don't know why they like it so much better. I mean, I do. I think they want to pull content creators from TikTok as fast as they can as part of a strategy, right? Because TikTok is actively competing with Amazon for TikTok Shop, right? And you can't make money as a content creator on TikTok until you have 5,000 or 10,000 followers.
They reduced it to 1,000.
For certain people.
Right, okay.
Mine still says 10.
Really?
Yes. So they did. They reduced it from 1,000 to 1,000 people for like a period of time for certain people. I was not in that lucky boat. But I think Amazon feels like if they can pull you off of TikTok so that you're making money on Amazon through the influencer program when you have 200 followers on TikTok and still waiting till you hit like 10,000, 5,000 on TikTok, that they want you to come over as quickly as possible.
There is a way to reduce from 5,000 followers to 1,000.
Okay.
If you open a TikTok shop account and you associate your TikTok account to that TikTok shop, you will be able to be
They
an
closed-
influencer
No,
that
they-
with 1,000
I think
followers.
they closed that
Any-
down.
She did that, she did that,
It's not
and
working
they
anymore.
canceled her account.
Yeah.
Any
She was
number of
doing it
followers
for a
for
while.
TikTok to be approved?
So this is a question that we get a lot, which is what's the minimum follower count on any of the platforms? And unfortunately, Amazon has not disclosed any follower accounts for any of the platforms. They just say that we're looking for a combination of followers and engagements and other metrics. So they don't tell us. Yes, sir.
Somebody asked, what is your agency? I told them Fluencer Fruit, is
Yep.
that correct? Yeah.
Yeah, I was really thinking this through on the front end and just named both of my companies the same thing. So Fluencer Fruit is the software, Fluencer Fruit Connect is the agency.
I love it, the same name, Tom, for two different things.
What is this?
I told you.
Personal attack.
All right, more questions before we jump into product research? All right.
One more sentence and I'll have 30 more questions.
Yeah, perfect. I love it. It's so fun because it's a part of the Amazon ecosystem that even like OG people who have been in the space for a long time have not heard about, don't know a ton about, and so there's always so many questions. It makes me super happy. All right, so we are going to start with a product listing. And I like to start with what I call the anatomy of a product listing. And the reason I do this is because I like to make sure that we're all talking about the same things. So we're gonna talk about what things are and why they matter to you as an Amazon influencer. So I am using the Fluencer Fruit extension. It is the yellow tool that shows up all over my screen while I'm doing this. I will give the disclaimer that I use the tool because, well, I'm biased and I designed it, but also because it makes your life easier. But about 90% of what I do when we're talking, you can also do manually. That's how I did it before we had the tool. So I'll just go ahead and call that out on the front end. So I'm gonna start at the top here, which is the banana score. And what I did was took a bunch of results from Amazon influencers and created a weighted score based on the data of how much and what, let's see, for what items on the product listing and how much they impacted how an Amazon influencer video would do. So this is basically a grade for the entire listing. We'll talk about the things that are included in the grade, but I just want you to know why that's up there. Oh yeah. Let's see. Woo. Let's go somewhere in between that, huh? Is that better? Yay? Okay. So this is basically a grade for the product listing. The things that it does not include is sales velocity. So in other words, this is just grading how well the brand, the seller set this product listing up for you as an Amazon influencer. When you are just getting started with influencer product research, I recommend that you start around a 70. That's where I can tell you it has enough of the success factors that are going to set your videos up for like good commission, good number of views. You're gonna combine that with sales velocity. It has, the Fluencer Fruit extension has an integration with Jungle Scout, so you'll see that my sales estimates down here are Jungle Scout sales estimates that are being pulled into the extension, okay? So combining the score and the factors we're gonna talk about with sales velocity.
And
Now-
you don't need Jungle Scout set separately, the flow is approved?
You will need Jungle
So you-
Scout separately, that's a good question, but if you are, well, at some point, we may also build a Helium-10 integration, because I know a lot of sellers also use Helium-10. Since I spent 6 years at Jungle Scout, it was just the first one that I built, because it was the one that I knew the best. And you can use it without Jungle Scout, you just don't get the sales estimates, so it would just, you know, appear without those. All right, so what's included in the score? The number one factor when you're doing product research that I want you to be looking for is, does it have this upper carousel? So in the extension, if it does, you're gonna get this little green check. If you're looking, you're just gonna see that literally in the main image carousel is a video carousel. And it's always gonna say underneath it, 4 videos, 6 videos, or click here for more videos. As opposed to some of the ones that are videos that are not the carousel, those will just stay in the carousel. They don't pop up. So what you're looking for is the pop-up upper carousel there. Now, the next thing that you're going to look for is how competitive is this listing, right, for the influencers. So there are usually, Amazon has flexed this, so I'm just gonna use usually for right now, 6 videos between the seller and the influencers in this upper carousel. So when I'm looking for products that I want to create content for, I wanna pick one that has an upper lister and has upper listing and has fewer than 6 total videos, but specifically fewer than 5 influencer videos, right? So this one only has 2 up here. That's good for me, right? When I look at the numbers here, you'll see 4 videos in the upper listing. This is a weird Amazon glitch. It says 4 videos, there's only 3 showing up. But one of those is a brand video, so that's good. And then it says that there are 3 influencer videos on this product listing. So that's good for me. I want to be on a product listing that has 0, 1, 2 other influencers on there, because then I'm gonna have fewer videos that I'm competing with for people to watch to find out about the product. Now I'm gonna scroll down because we haven't talked about the lower carousel. This is the other place where you'll find Amazon influencer videos, right? So this is an influencer video, and this is the influencer video that we saw up top, there we go. And then this is another one, right? And then you'll see down here, this is the brand video. In the lower carousel, Amazon does not separate out who is who. We just know from looking at them, right? If it's a customer review, Amazon has started putting at the beginning of the title, customer review, and then their title. And I just happen to know this is the seller. So we've got the 3 influencers here and the seller. So this would be a good product from the standpoint of it's not super competitive with a bunch of other influencers, and they have that upper carousel placement. All right, so what else are we looking at? We're gonna look at commission percentage. This is gonna be one of the only things that I talk about that you can't do unless you utilize a tool. You can guess and you can get close, but the tool takes from the back end the commission category and pulls the attached commission percentage for it. So this is gonna be the one thing that actually necessitates the code. Now, in the influencer program, our commissions are between 1% and 4%. Luxury beauty is 5%. Not a lot of us are playing in luxury beauty products, but for the most part, 1% to 4%. So when you're making decisions about the products that you want to be creating content for, that 4% is kind of the gold standard, right? A lot of categories get into that 1%, 2.5% like commission. Remember, you're only making commission off of the one item. So one sale is one sale, and it's either gonna be 20 cents or $6, right? So you want those higher commissions. This one, as an example, $6 per sale when somebody watches one of those videos that we just saw and buys this product. We've included the category, which again is just attached if you're looking for affiliate stuff. The next thing that you're going to be looking for in product research is going to be the score of the product. Around 4.4 is where I can mathematically tell you it does good things for the views and the sales that you have as an Amazon influencer for the listing. I'm not saying if it's a 3.9 that you're not going to do it, but what I'm saying is just even logically, when you think about the shopper experience, you know, when scores get too low, shoppers tend to look at other listings first, so you have less traffic, which means less views for your videos. So those higher scores, obviously better for you. And the last thing that we're gonna look for is going to be the price point. Now, I like to recommend, if you are investing and you are starting to like look at those higher priced items, that $80 to $120 mark is kind of like where you really start to see people watching the videos. Now, there's a couple reasons for this, that it's in the score, right? But one is, of course, $80 or $120, 4% of that is obviously more than if you have a $10 product. You have to sell a lot more $10 products to make what you make on one $120 product. But that doesn't scale infinitely ongoing, right? I did a video on a $3,000 water slide 2 years ago. I officially sold my first one 2 weeks ago. It was a $146 commission off of one, but people don't buy $3,500 water slides on Amazon all day, every day, right? Now, don't get me wrong, when I saw the extra $146 to my day, I thought Amazon had a weird glitch for the day. I was like, where did that extra money come from? But that $80 to $120 mark is where people really start to consider what they're going to spend their money on, right? So $20 products, most of us, especially on Amazon, will be like, oh, I need that, I'll just buy it. Less people are watching those videos, right? $80, $120, $150, people are like, I wanna make sure that I pick the best storage bins for what I'm sending to college with my kid and make sure that they fit in the space or that they're easy to assemble. So you start to see better views and better conversion on those higher price items. All right, so the other things that I kind of like to call out, right? So we are looking at the score. Those are all things that I can say tangibly are included in there. The thing that's not included, in addition to the sales or the sales velocity here, right, is going to be the number of reviews. And I usually combine this with when it was first available, right? So 4.6 is great. He has 12 reviews because it just started selling May 30th of 2024. That's a very new product, right? Now this is a, you know, I was gonna say it's a pretty big brand. I don't think it is, but they're doing pretty well for like their second month on the site, right? So I would combine this with the first date when you're doing product research. In other words, if you're looking at a bookshelf that has 15,000 reviews and they've got a 4.4, I'm probably okay with that, right? If they're still sitting at a 4.4 with that number of like reviews, it's gonna be a little bit more of a competitive listing, so the banana score is gonna be lower, there's probably gonna be more influencers, but you can kind of weigh that, right? And the first available date, right? So if they've been on the site since 2014 and they've got 200 reviews, they're not doing any sales velocity, right? Like, it's possible that they're gonna revamp that listing and you're gonna start getting views, but if I have a choice between one that's sitting with 12 reviews and 200 sales a month from May to now, or one that's been on the site for 10 years and has got 200 reviews, I'm gonna pick the one that's newer, that's pushing hard. Yes, Carlos?
Anita wants to know, did you have to buy the water slide?
Did okay, so. That is a fantastic question. So the rule of thumb is you have to have the product in hand to talk about it. Did I personally buy the water slide? No, I did not. I happened to be, and I will say this because we were in Miami and you guys will probably get this. We were out at Stiltsville with some friends, and on one of the docks, they had this water slide, and we played on it literally all day with the kids. And so I shot footage of us on the water slide, and then I shot what I call like a talking head video with the B-roll next to me, talking about the water slide. So you don't have to own the product, but you do have to have the product. So black hat tactics exist in every part of the Amazon ecosystem. We have seen people go into Home Depot and film smokers just right off the rack. That's not allowed. If your friend has a smoker and you can provide value to somebody who is shopping by talking about that smoker, that's okay.
asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
Okay, I'm asking for a friend.
Tell me.
What about if you have a smoker?
Yes,
And it happens to look like 20 other smokers
yes,
that are sold on the market,
yep.
and you wanna do a video of this smoker,
Mhm.
but maybe you either use the same video and tag 20 products, or
Yep.
you shot 20 different videos, and all of a sudden you have 20 smokers
Yep.
that are $500 a piece. What are your thoughts on that?
Wildly against terms of service, black hat. Okay, but let's talk about the logistics of that. There's two things.
Logistics, sounds like you thought this out.
Oh, listen, we see it all the time. This is like getting one-star reviews paid for against you as a seller, right? Like, it's like, so what we saw probably a year or two ago was people who would have a mattress, right? And they would create one video talking about this mattress, but they wouldn't say the name of the mattress. And then they would upload the same video 100 times. And they would tag 100 different mattresses. And they were making bank, right? Blue ocean, Amazon's not stopping
And then
anything.
sell service on how to crack the code.
And then they would sell courses on how you should also do this, and then they got their account banned, like permanently. And Amazon, as we know, does not come by and say, you know what, that's so cute, but we don't like that. Why don't you try again? No, they shut you down and they keep all your money. It's overnight. And they had 2 months worth, because you're like 60 days delayed, so you then lose 2 months of income. Now, you were black hat the whole time, so whatever. So there's that piece of it. You risk getting yourself banned. And if you are doing multiple streams on Amazon, don't think that they won't cross what they ban you for. We haven't seen it yet, but I really believe that at some point you could impact poorly one of your other revenue streams if you try that. The other thing is, Amazon just 2 weeks ago sent out an email and said that they are not going to allow duplicate content anymore. And I think it stems from that sort of stuff, right? So where do you get to like the gray part of this conversation and you have to make the decision on your own? Is if I have a mattress and I know that it is Tempur-Pedic, I don't know, pick one, right? But I'm looking at the listing and I can't find, it's like model ABC and I have model AB.5 or whatever. If you feel, well, let me say this. That's an area where I'm a little bit more comfortable personally being like, I can speak to this product one time, just this exact listing, even if it's like, oh, it's the blue variation as opposed to the brown variation, or those sorts of things. So 200 videos of the same mattress with 100 different mattresses tagged? No. If you feel like it's the product and you can provide value, that's a decision you have to make for yourself. I have one more example. You said tag 20 smokers in the same video. Actually, that kills your placement. So this product listing placement that we're talking about, which is the gold standard, you can only tag up to 3 products and still appear on the product listing page, right? So if you tag 20 mattresses, you're going to appear nowhere, and you've just wasted everybody's time. Did I answer that for everybody?
So it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
When you create a video, I don't know if you want me to get the mic or.
Right here, right
here.
Talk to the
Yeah.
mic.
Right, right.
So when you create a video, and even though it allows you to tag 10,
Yes.
you should only maximum tag 4. That's all.
Maximum tag 3.
Oh, three max.
Yep.
What did you say with the number 4? Well, you said the number 4, right?
I may have said for on-site placement. In other words, in order to get on-site placement, you can only tag 3.
One video tagging 3.
Yes. So like Amazon has in the past asked for compare and contrast videos. And I would be like, this water bottle versus this water bottle, and you can tag up to 3, right? But if you tag 4, you're no longer eligible for the on-page placement. You're only eligible then for what's called placement in the Inspire feed, which is their shoppable, scrollable shopping. So there is a place for that. Those like TikTok type videos where you see like things you need for your car, right? It's like 50 items that they have in their car. You can do that. I think the max right now is you can tag up to 20 items and still be eligible for Inspire.
And then also, if I wanted, I could hog the placements. I could take all 6 slots if I want.
Yes,
All
so
right.
if you find, so for example, if you were looking here, this carousel has at least 2 more places. So yeah, if you have this, you could go create 2, 3, 4 videos, and that is white hat. Amazon asks us to create multiple pieces of content for the same product. It just has to be unique content. So like, but then you could take up multiple places in that same carousel, which wins you a better spot of people seeing you. Carlos.
Okay, if buyer watched 3 videos
love
of
this
3
one.
different influencers
Yep.
before they buy the product, who will get the commission?
Great question. Sadly, Amazon tells us nothing about it. What we believe to be true is that it's last touch attribution, meaning whoever they watched last is the one that Amazon assumes is the person who convinced you to buy. Yes, sir.
The other one is, when Influencer Fruit identifies a good product opportunity,
Mhm.
how are you sourcing it from the seller if you do not already have access to it?
That's a great question. So there's a couple different things. One way is people will just go and invest in the item and then resell it, right? So they're just coming out of pocket because they know that they can make decent money off of a product listing. There's also what's called creator connections, and it's basically like a way for brands to post deals and extra commissions where they can work with, and this is actually farther down, but work with them directly, and you can reach out to the brands on there, or if you guys have seen this, if you go to the sold by here and click in, you can actually find the seller's information. So if you wanted to, if you were like, I really love these storage containers, you could go and try and like reach out to them. The only challenge with reaching out to them this direction, basically like tracking them down, is finding the right person is difficult, and then you are committed to educating them on why your videos on their Amazon listing are valuable. They are, and I can tell you why, but that is the biggest challenge, is most brands are not aware of the program and how it helps them. Yes, Peter?
Yeah, I sent a lot of private messages to brands like that, but none of them responded.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about the number, as content creators, the number of messages that I get every day from agents and brands trying to get me to promote their products, the brands are getting an equal number of low quality outreach as well, and I don't have an answer yet on how to set your individual outreach apart.
You're talking about via Creator Connect?
No, I just message them here when you click on it, and then you can send a direct message to the brand when you ask the question through Amazon. That's just what I do.
Yeah. Can I add?
I think that's against terms of service.
Oh, you
I
can't-
know that
you
you're
don't-
supposed to
Yeah,
do that.
you shouldn't do that through the message, that way.
All right.
But, if you have it doesn't have to be that compelling, but if you have a compelling reason as to why they should, like if the brand has a product that goes well with garages, and you're reaching out to them, if you send them a link to some pictures of your garage and how you are like their avatar, they want you to get that product. I think a lot of the issue is, like for example, I don't have a swimming pool. My friend Tom has an amazing swimming pool, right? But if I wanted to reach out to brands and say, hey, I want to get your swimming product, and I don't have a pool, I probably am not going to get it. So I'm not giving him a reason. Tom would, but I have dogs and small kids, you gotta try to put yourself in their shoes. Like, how can you convince them that you're their avatar and they're getting some very compelling content from you?
Tom, did you have a question?
No, I was just gonna make a comment on tagging products.
Uh-huh.
I have found that the more products you tag, the less reach you get, and I think Amazon throttles you back. So for me, best practice has just been almost like safe driving, hands at 10 and 2, just tag one friggin' product, be happy with the content. We're making some really silly stuff here. This is crazy that you can make money doing this. So whenever you try to go off the rails and do something that's, I don't know, gonna get you flagged and get you shut down, just don't do it. I mean, I laugh at these people that are going to Home Depot or going to Walmart and reviewing all these different grills. They're just gonna get flagged, and I think they're getting away with it, but 60 days is when they're gonna get paid, and in those 60 days, they're gonna get shut down. And someone's gonna report them, and there's that little flag that says report, I don't know what that means, but.
Yeah, but it's on every one of your videos, like, that
Yeah,
people can
something
report
that-
you. Yeah.
I've seen so many videos where I see someone that does like, they say the same video and they're tagging different pet stain removers.
Yep.
And they tag every single pet stain remover, but they have the same video for the wrong product.
Yep.
And they may be getting away with it now, but
It won't be long.
it won't be long.
Yeah.
Sheriff is coming.
This person has a few questions, I'm gonna try to wrap, I think you got
Okay,
one,
yeah.
like, will you be explaining today how to submit the video you made for a product? And is it worth doing the video in another language?
Oh, great question. So, okay, so in order to submit your video, if you go to, this is my storefront, so amazon.com/shop/ mine is Liz on a Journey, but whatever Amazon gives you is usually attached to the social that you applied with, right? So that's the name of my Instagram account. So if you come here, this is my logged in version, and you click on create content, click on post video and photo, and it brings you to the upload page. And from here, it's really just a walkthrough of uploading the video, giving it a title. It's like less than 60 characters. So it's not like you're mini blogging like on Instagram or anything, and then it gives you a plus and you tag the product. It's super easy. What's the second question? Oh,
Is it
the
worth
other
doing
language.
The video in another language?
Okay, great question. So this is actually, let's move down there and we'll come back to some of these other pieces. So let's talk about scaling internationally. So Amazon in the last 6 months has started opening all the other influencer marketplaces, but they kind of like turn them on and turn them off. So if you are going to upload just to the US, no, you need to do it in English, because the US marketplace does not support other languages. Now, currently, Germany, the UK, Belgium, a couple of the others that you wouldn't expect to support English still support English, and you can just upload what you're doing in the US directly to the other marketplaces. But this is one of the ways that I currently think, because we've gone from, so let's say a year or 2 years ago, it was blue ocean, right? 30-second videos, it was like launching a product in 2014. You were just throwing stuff up and people were making money like hand over fist in the influencer program, right? Now we're at the like stabilization phase. They're putting in a lot more like infrastructure, things are kind of like leveling off. People who are making that kind of money are now mad that that free money is less. And so we're like in the build period. But while we're here, Amazon is opening all of the internet, not all, there are 16 total influencer marketplaces that now have on-site placement. So for terms of service reasons, I blanked out my numbers here with this little gray, and I'll enlarge this so you guys can see it with the gray block here, but you can see my little pie circle. I just kind of play with all of the international marketplaces, and I upload my videos right now just exactly as they are in English. Now, they're being rejected in Japan for unsupported language and some others. You can do different language subtitles and they'll get approved. The AI voiceovers are really good. Those will get approved in different languages, so you can take your videos and translate them. But when they have all of the—
Is AI not causing an issue?
So far, no, just for the voiceover in a different language, but will it in the future? Most likely. But like when all of the geos are turned on and I have, the product has to both have a listing in the US and in all of these other places, but I think it was like 40 of my videos, and across all 16 marketplaces ended up with over 300 places that I could upload them in the different marketplaces. And the international ended up adding an additional 20% to what I was making for no additional content production. Now, it's labor intensive at the moment because you have to go to each storefront in each geo and upload the videos and tag the products and find out if, I use Genius Link to find out if there's a listing in that country. And so it is a little bit of a manual process at this point. At some point, I hope they'll give us what like Amazon Merch has, which is a centralized hub where we can upload, but at the moment, that's it. But if you're looking for ways to scale and you've been doing this, international is a great way to kind of get up and going. If you were like, Liz, I want to do international, but I only want to do a couple other countries, the top 3 countries that are not the US that are producing on-site commission for influencers are Canada, the UK, and Germany. So if you're like, just let me pick 2 or 3, those are the 3 that I recommend. Canada, the UK, and Germany. Carmen.
I tried to launch in other countries.
Okay.
And I was just not able to see any influencer videos on any of the products at least that I looked at. I mean, this is UK and Canada.
Yeah.
So how are you going about deciding what to post? Because I'm assuming not everything has, not only the products are there, but if the product is there, they don't have a video. But I've never seen an influencer video on others, on the global sites.
So I'm actually just seeing if they have a listing and then uploading. Because for some reason, I'm not convinced that we can always see the exact thing that local shoppers see. So this is a liquid IV video. You guys, I have made 2 rupees in India. I have no idea how I'm ever getting them out, but I'm very excited about this. And it's from this video, right? But if you look at this listing, it's not available in India, or it tells me that it's not available. And it doesn't show any influencer videos until I look at the one video that's in that carousel, it's me. But there was no video there. So it's still a little bit of like the Wild West internationally. So if it has a product listing, I will go ahead and upload it because I'm not creating new content.
Okay.
And they're turning on-site placement on and off intermittently. So sometimes when I go to Canada, I'll specifically see, like, I have mascara, a couple mascara videos. I'll sometimes see those. But then I'll look at everything else and I'm like, I don't see any of my other things or any other listings. But for whatever reason, they turn them on and off. So I just find a listing and upload the product if I have the video. And then you just see. Yep.
For the first time, we did a split screen yesterday on somebody's, what influencer videos somebody was seeing in California for the same listing as what we did now. I was talking to some people about it yesterday morning, and one person, same room, one person was seeing 5,
Yep.
4 different ones in a different placement, and 3 different ones in a different placement. So I just picked California just because that was the furthest person away, and we just looked at it. So there was, just with the people that were on the video, there was 11 different influencers showing up for the same product at the same time, just depending on where someone was looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We just added this, so I'm really excited about it, but this little My Videos section here is active on all of the geos, so you can see that I have a video in the upper carousel on this product listing. And you can see that in search results now too. All right, so talking a little bit more about product research. The prep work for holidays and Prime Day is going to be a little bit different for on-site content. So for example, Prime Day, I can't predict who's going to run sales, right? So like in enough time to go buy a product, create content, and make sure that I'm up and running on their listing before Prime Day goes live. So for Prime Day, your on-site income is going to be mostly attached to what you've already got going, and make sure that you have everything live, you know, as much as possible. However, there are ways that we can do some pretty interesting product research prep for seasons. So I have a 18-year-old who is just starting his freshman year at the University of North Texas, so this is fresh on my mind about what's coming up in the fall. Not just school supplies, but I'm shopping for dorm supplies, right? And so you can think through kind of like what's coming next, right? So I'm thinking through dorm supplies, but other people are thinking about like classroom supplies, thinking about Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, pick your holiday, right? So if you wanted to start doing product research for what's coming next, you can go and do that type of research. So I picked, and this was an autofill, so I assumed I was going to have internet today, but I pulled some stuff just in case, you know, I couldn't hotspot or we were down. So dorm room storage ended up being one of the autofills from search, right? So I pulled this, and then I went looking, right? Also shopping, because I want to see like what we need next this upcoming fall. But here's what I like to do. Because we know that you only want, not only, you want to focus on product listings that have the upper carousel. So I'm gonna pull these filters and I'm gonna go to yes, right? And I wanna make sure that there's no more than 2 influencers on this product listing, right? So now I can look pretty quickly and see which of these listings that are here for dorm room storage and ranking on the first page would be good for me to create content for, right? So then I'm gonna sort this by how much I'm gonna make per sale. And we've got this one that's doing almost 3,000 a month, but then I'm gonna look down here, this one is also doing almost 18,000 a month, right? So when you start thinking about like, okay, what's coming next this year, this is one of the ways that you can prep as an influencer for on-site content. Because I know end of July, beginning of August, all these moms are freaking out about how they're gonna fit everything into these kids' dorm rooms and they need storage, right? So one of the strategies that we see people have a lot of success is they'll go and own a category, right? So they'll go and pick 5, 10, 15 storage options, buy them, create content, one at a time, comparisons. You can make those products go a long way and then they'll resell them, right? Facebook Marketplace is the major one. Everybody hates it, but it tends to be a necessary evil. Some people have like closed Facebook groups for people local to them where they know what they do, like, oh, I create content, so this is slightly used for content, but then you can buy it at a heavily discounted price. But you can pretty quickly then start saying like, oh, let me go look at, this is the storage pillow. Okay, it's a little bit different kind of storage, but depending on what you're doing in their dorm room, maybe it works. But this is a good opportunity. It's only got 3 videos on it. It's $1.60 per sale. And they're doing like, they're probably getting ready to ramp up. If you're using something like Jungle Scout or you're using Helium 10 or one of the seller tools, you can also, I pulled it out so you can see this, but you can look back, right, and see when their spikes in sales are if they're a seasonal product. All right. Now, this one is real niche, but we've still got 20 minutes, so I'm gonna do it. If you're using Jungle Scout, does anybody here know about the category trends portion inside of Jungle Scout?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. All right. So this is actually on the back end of Seller Central as well, but Jungle Scout took it and made it a lot easier. So in the back end of Jungle Scout, if you click on product research and go down here to category trends, this is pulling the best sellers, right, for each category. So you can pick a category. Here's the best part. Let's see, let's go to the beginning of last December. Let's go to home and kitchen and seasonal decor. So now you can start going through what the best sellers were at the beginning of December last year, right? Now, one of my favorite things is you can find ideas here. It's not necessarily that you're gonna go and be like, oh, this exact Christmas tree, there we go, is the one that I wanna create content on. Like, right, you can click into it and say, oh, this was a bestseller last year. Let's go see what the product listing looks like. Oh, it's super competitive. They've already got 6 videos here, but it's a $2.20 commission, right? So what you could do then is go look at like other artificial Christmas trees. One of my favorite ones that I found doing this was, I didn't know this existed, Christmas tree watering systems for like people who have live trees in their houses. I know, I had no idea. But I found it through the Jungle Scout category trends, looking at like bestsellers, I think closer to Christmas. And then you can go, right, and look like, okay, the one that I found, because it was a bestseller last year, is super competitive. But if I go to Christmas tree watering, now I can go see like what listings are up and coming for this next season and go buy them before the season actually gets here, right? So that you can be on the listing as it's taking off. So this is kind of niche, and it's like once you're down the rabbit hole, like way into your product research, you've done everything in your house, all those things, just some ways to kind of like jog those ideas for other content you can be creating.
Question.
Yes, sir.
I'm sold, how much is Fluencer Fruit?
That's a great question. Appreciate you asking. So Fluencer Fruit, I have a monthly, quarterly, and an annual plan. I will just go ahead and start with the annual because it is intentionally priced to be very enticing. So it's $9.99 a year, but Wizards has a coupon that will get it 50% off for life for you, which is $4.99 a year. It averages out to about $42 a month. The monthly is $99 and the quarterly is $270 for 3 months. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. One last kind of like product research, needle in the haystack way, and I use these again for like ideas for driving like what else you could be creating content for, right? So when I'm looking at the bestseller page, for whatever reason, Jungle Scout does not provide sales estimates on the bestseller page, the main one. I think they just assume that everything on there is selling a lot. But when you go down into the categories, you start being able to combine sales and the Fluencer Fruit information, or the stuff that influencers care about. And while you're probably not on the main page of the category to find a needle in the haystack, sometimes if you dig down into the subcategories, you will find things that still are doing 50, 70,000 a month that don't have any influencers on them, which is wild, right? So like if we pull this right here, the lowest on this page is 9. All right, well those are super competitive. Let's go take a look. One time I was doing this and I found, I was doing product research publicly, so I usually try and find lower price items so that if people also go like knock all your stuff off, they're not like winning a ton of money being competitive with you. But I found essential oils that were doing 50, 70,000 a month, and I bought 5 of them in a couple different sets and a diffuser. And I sell a couple different oils every day that and they're doing so much. Now they're 10 cents a piece, so I'm not gonna retire on that money particularly. But you can find as you go down into some of these like subcategory bestseller pages, again, those needle in the haystack opportunities that are just kind of like you wouldn't expect them to be. Let's see, what else did I have for us? I do want to show you the back end. So if you are getting started as an influencer and you haven't seen this, or you are an Amazon influencer and you haven't seen this, this is Creator Hub. For terms of service, I have all of my numbers blurred so that I can share with you everything but my numbers. The Fluencer Fruit extension actually puts all of these bright yellow columns on here, right? So the conversion rate, your video placement, if it's out of stock, and the ability to download the content. So one of the things that, because Fluencer Fruit is like 15 months old, and so when you submit a support ticket or you ask for customer service or you email me like Peter did yesterday about a pricing question, you get me in the inbox, right? So if you're like, Liz, I love this, but please could you automate fill in the blank? My team can still turn it around pretty quickly. We're still pretty agile. So a lot of the things that you're seeing specifically on this screen are things that have been requested by users in the subscriber base. So why are these things important? This video placement. Amazon rotates Amazon influencer content through the product listing placements, right? So sometimes there are product listings that we've had placement on for a significant amount of time and make a lot of money on, that all of a sudden will get kicked off a carousel. Now, there's not necessarily any proven way to get yourself back on that carousel, but it is helpful to know, oh, I lost my spot. I'm probably gonna see a dip in my income until I get rotated back on. Or if you've been knocked off for 2-4 weeks, maybe you wanna rename the video. Maybe you wanna upload a new thumbnail. You can't delete it and re-upload it, that Amazon doesn't like that. But you can change different things on it to see if you can bump yourself back into the carousel. One of the other strategies to get back into a carousel is create 1 or 2 more videos about that product and upload them as well, and see if Amazon will push all of your content back onto a product listing. So what we use this for is just kind of like keeping track of our placement and then how it's impacting our sales. Now, something we literally added 2 weeks ago are these numbers on the left and right side of your placement. So for this listing, And again, you can see that I just had a graduate. These are all of our graduation party supplies here at the top here. But on this product listing, I have placement in both the upper carousel, I'm the second video on that, and I'm the first placement in the lower carousel. So I can very quickly jump into Creator Hub and find where all of my videos are placed. Now, the other thing I can do here is I can click on No Carousel, and we are going to very briefly go out of terms while you see this one piece of my data there. But I can go and sort by each type of placement, right? So if I clicked on check all video placements, this would run through the entirety of my video catalog while we were sitting here. I won't do it because it will take some time. It does actually have to physically go through all of your listings. But then what you can do is you can filter by placement for all of your videos, right? So we have users who have 5,000 to 10,000 videos, and they were manually going through and sorting for placement. And then they were also checking to see if it was out of stock. So these were two things that they were like, Liz, could you build for us so we don't have to manually do this anymore? The other benefit of like once you click on check all video placements is you can click on this download arrow here. Let's see if I have one. Okay, I think this is one. You can click on the download arrow there and it will pull all of your stats out, right? So it will give you the banana score, it will give you the title, it's going to give you the price and the monthly sales, like it pulls everything out so that you can see what the commission is, and then it will also show you like where you're placed, upper and lower, and the placement number in the CSV. So then this is important because Creator Hub only shows you the last 30 days of your data. So it is very difficult in the influencer program to gather any sort of meaningful data to help inform your decisions. So if you're doing this, you can every week, month, whatever, download all of your data and start tracking so that you're not just looking at 30 days worth of data at a time. It's not like Seller Central where you can go in and say, what did I do in January? You just have to know what you did in January or that data is gone, right? The other thing, this was a request last week, was the ability to download your content from Creator Hub. So as people are scaling into the international marketplaces, we all have external hard drives or Google Drive that's holding all of these videos as well as the thumbnails. Now, depending on your level of organization, it's super easy to jump into Google Drive and pull out all that content, or you can just come here and click download, and it's going to download my video as well as my thumbnail so that as I'm going through, I can just now pull those two and upload to all of the international marketplaces. Yes, sir?
Where do you, is it the same spot to upload internationally or is it somewhere else?
Oh, no, it is a different page for each international marketplace. So for example, this is my storefront. I've only gotten 4 videos approved in India, but this is my storefront in India, Amazon.in, create content, upload. And literally it's amazon.co.uk/shop/Liz on a journey, upload.
Was it that, did you have to reapply or were you already approved for the US account?
Great question. So once you're approved for on-site placement in the US, you're approved in all of the geos. For right now. I am sure they will change that at some point, but right now we're just kind of like grandfathered in as already approved in the US.
I'm just gonna give you a little horror story on the international stuff because I think I wanna let everybody slow their skis on the international.
Yeah.
I had a really bad experience with it.
Do you want the mic?
Sure, yeah. I just wanna caution everybody.
Man, that's
Sorry. So, when I first started a year ago, we got really excited when they said, hey, you can go into other countries.
Yeah.
So we applied to another country, and the next day I opened up my account and my storefront was gone. So what had happened, according to what Amazon is telling us, is that we had attached, as you're gonna get all excited, you're gonna attach all your social media handles, right? You got approved with a Facebook account that had 5,000 followers. Now you wanna add on your Instagram account that has 2 followers, right? Follow me here on this, right? So all these social media handles that you attach, so we attached a Instagram account with 200 followers. So what Amazon was doing at that time, hopefully they fixed it,
Yeah.
but essentially what they were doing is they were basically I was going through the process as a new influencer, and they basically said, hey, listen, you don't have enough followers on your Instagram page, so therefore you're not approved. So they took down my storefront. Now, I still ended up making commissions on this stuff, but it was such a freaking hassle because they had not figured out, in my opinion, all of the integrations with the international stuff. And I think as Liz is telling you now, this international platforms and stuff, they're taking it on, they're taking them off. It's not as robust as the US stuff is, so I feel two things. One, save all your videos, thank God, right? So we had them on a separate drive so we could re-upload them when we reapplied to the program, got everything back up and running, and we're talking over 1,000 videos, right? So it was a lot. But we got that back up and running and we're there now. I just, out of the abundance of caution, would tell you until they fix all this stuff and it becomes more robust, just 10 and 2, be happy with the US, stay there, drive safely, you know, don't do anything crazy, just enjoy what you got. That's my own 2 cents. I mean, knock yourself out, go crazy if you want, but I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze.
So that's really, I love that. Thank you for sharing. I mean, I don't love that for you. I'm really
No.
sorry. I love that you were willing to share that with us.
I was gonna go find Bezos on his new island, that's how mad I was.
So I am willing to play with the international stuff, but I do it transparently so that people can also
Sure.
watch. So I totally understand. And I will echo that if you were going to expand internationally, to do so with caution. Because in addition to they don't have it all figured out yet, the juice is not currently worth the squeeze for all 16. There's also tax implications that you need to talk to your, legal and your CPAs about to make sure you can get the money out, you know how you're counting it, all those sorts of things. And they don't have it all worked out yet. Like, we are just kind of like playing along, Carmen.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I mentioned it on the meeting the other day. I was talking to customer service, and they told me not to upload the same videos that I have in the US. Absolutely no same content, it has to be new content, which makes no sense, right? Because it's ultimately, there's no overlap, they're separated. But I guarantee you, if I had that same conversation with somebody else, I'll hear something else.
Yeah. Yes,
Just to
ma'am.
add on to the payment mechanism, right? So you have to have it set up, and I can't, Carlos, what's the name of that international bank that allows different currencies?
Payoneer.
Payoneer. So you have to have Payoneer set up because you're gonna get paid in Canadian dollars and Japanese yen and everything else, so you have to have that.
I think so there are some marketplaces that is accurate for India, Japan, a couple others, Brazil. But some of the marketplaces, you can actually use a US bank account for.
Wow, okay, once again, I don't know what, but you can also get paid in gift certificates, Amazon gift certificates,
If
so
you
that's
do
another.
Canada wrong, you end up getting gift certificates.
So just understand, it's a hairball, so
It
just.
is, it is a lot to kind of like step into. Yes, Carlos?
I'm not sure if, by the way, there's no obligation, but I'm not sure, I missed when I asked you for the person on the pricing, and I'm getting hit by a bunch of people. We couldn't hear what she said about a discount. I didn't hear you say it.
Yeah, there's a wizard's code.
Oh, they did say,
Yeah,
I didn't know if they were playing me to like push on their behalf, or like, did you say it?
Yeah, I did. Hold on, let me get there. So if you go to fluencerfruitconnect.com/wizards, it will take you to this page. If you click on, I have a couple different options here for you, but if you
that's very
click
generous of you. Thank
on
you.
the by extension, it actually has down here in the directions this Wizards 501 code, and that will make the extension only the annual plan, 50% off for the annual plan, but that's good for life. It's not like just for the first
So the
year.
annual plan is pretty much already 50% off the monthly anyway, so it's. Right.
Exactly. It's intended to be like, come join my community. Like, it's gonna take you more than a month to like get in and get up and running with everything that you wanna do.
Oh, wow, thank you for that.
Yeah, so.
Thanks a lot.
Yes. So, the other thing that we added for anybody who's just getting started is.
I was wondering if you were gonna do this. I was
Yeah.
wondering how you're gonna pull it off. Those are screenshots, or you're doing it live?
This is my order history.
Okay, good.
I mean, you guys can all see what I've recently ordered. Coming to
Yeah.
Miami, I forgot my flip-flops in Texas, so I had to reorder my new flip-flops. So, but what you'll hear when you get started with the program, everybody's like, go through your order history, do everything in your house. But like, how many years have we been ordering on Amazon now? Like 10, 12, 15, however long, right? So going through your order history, we put the extension on here so that you can also sort through your order history with all of the information you want, right? Because like, I just bought my college kid shorts. Well, they don't have an upper carousel, they're in fashion apparel. I'm probably not gonna do those until I've done this weighted vest and my flip-flops, right? And And it will also tell me like, oh, I've already got one on the lower carousel of these flip-flops, so I'll probably start with the weighted vest first, right? But you can work through your order history in a way that helps you prioritize content as well.
Liz, back to the basics again.
Yeah.
So, any suggestions for, the first 3 videos?
Simple.
Prayer.
How simple, like give us some category maybe?
Stay out of anything that can be medical, so
Okay.
don't do supplements.
Okay.
I would pick something that's a household item and something that you can just talk about, literally water bottles. And I wouldn't do any of this like product research while you're doing it. You literally just want anything that has a product listing on Amazon that you can talk about. So if you feel really confident talking about these, you know, Star Wars helmets, and it has a product listing, I would hold it up in front of the camera and I would talk about the quality, the paint, the shape, that it's very realistic, that you feel very much like a stormtrooper, you know, whatever the case is, 30 to 60 seconds, and end your video. Minimal editing, no B-roll, just very simple. And if you're doing faceless, over the head shot, just talk about it, same things.
Okay.
Subscribe and save, do they continue making commissions or no?
One time.
One time.
Yeah, yeah, because I have my shampoo that I have on Subscribe and Save that I've created content for, I make it every once
Just
in a
one
while.
time.
Yes, ma'am?
Any suggestion of how to join Creator Connections? We don't have it available.
Oh, you haven't gotten the invite yet?
No.
Okay, so Creator Connections is where the brands can post deals, and for on-site and off-site, you can get additional commission. What Amazon has told us is they closed invites. It's invite only for brands and invite only for content creators. They've told us that invitations are currently closed until July 1st. They said they were going to open them. And you have to have $1 in sales and like 100 clicks or something like that to qualify for on-site. But they haven't told us, because they haven't like been sending invites from any of the like communities that we're watching or anything. And so the best thing that I've seen, but I haven't seen it work recently, is to email creator support or associate support and see if you can get in that way. The last couple people that I've seen email support and ask for access to Creator Connections have been told no, that emails will be sent later this month. So I don't have any tips. I think it's just a matter of wait and see right now. But once we start seeing invites go, I would go ahead and send your email to support or reach out to them on chat, whichever is easier.
Okay.
Yeah. Carlos?
Good day for this.
No, I love it.
A lot of people are interested
Oh,
in
cool.
influencer fruit, but I didn't memorize the URL that you're sending them
Oh.
to, and I'm getting bombarded.
It's okay, here, let me
I'm
put it
gonna
on.
write the URL.
No, I got it, I'll put it on.
I don't know if you sent that to me beforehand, is that what you
I
sent?
did, it's
Okay,
this
I'll
one.
get it.
You got it, it's right there. Now everybody's got it on screen.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, I forget. Oh, one of the other ways to scale. Guys, also, we're at time, so feel free to cut me off if you guys are like, no, we're done, we need time. But one of the other ways to scale, so international is the more dicey, you know, risk your sanity. But there are multiple platforms right now that are launching to help content creators and brands work together. So I have an agency, which is more of a white glove. If you're in my software and you want to work with brands, like Beatrice and Carmen actually have both done campaigns for my company, and I mean, it's so much fun. But anyways,
Beatrice finally got approved?
yeah.
Okay, good.
Wayward,
Beatrice got approved?
Levanta, Logie, and Archer Associates are 4 platforms that are currently building out ways for you to go and just basically like earn more commission, mostly through associates, so it's offsite, but Logie specifically is on-site as well. So for content that you're just posting onto Amazon, you also make additional commission through Logie. They're interesting ways, and you can get in and play with it, and I'm happy to answer any questions, but I didn't want to skip it since we were talking about scaling and product research today, that those are ways that you can also scale your influencer stuff.
You said, I have a quick question. It's a little bit, a little gray area.
Yeah.
But you touched upon several things that have been impacted. I have a product that's classified as a cosmetic. It's essential oils for muscle aches and pains and muscular.
It's amazing.
Warm up, thank you, Carlos. But, you know, I fought through several times being delisted on Amazon. They were classifying it as medical. I got through that, took me several times, and I got through that, and I've been touched for a while. But now I'm trying to sell abroad, and they're flagging me again for something medical. How can I get myself out of that gray area? Because, I mean, I definitely want to take advantage of all this.
Yeah.
But I'm concerned that you mentioned don't get involved with supplements, don't get involved with medical, but you also mentioned essential oils.
Yes.
And my product's made from essential oils, you know?
So I'll speak specifically not to the seller side because I don't know. I know that Amazon has changed their filters around the things you can and can't say on your listings and all of those things. From the influencer side, what I will tell you is that when I talked about the essential oils, I basically said, this is rosewood oil. It comes with a dropper. It comes in this box.
Not
Like,
that it does X for your skin.
I can't say anything, I can say it smells good, but I can't say anything about the suggested
Properties or
uses
benefits.
or anything else. So like, I would say like, oh, I put this in my diffuser because I love the way that it smells in my office and it lasts for hours and then it has like a sandalwood scent to it. Those are the things. What I can tell you is that the filters that Amazon uses for influencers is starting to overlap heavily with the filters they use for sellers. For example, we were working with a seller who was like, we cannot get our product videos up. They were like a travel cube company. And I was like, send me your videos. I bet I can find it because we do flagged videos all day, every day for content creators. Sure enough, they had a professionally done video that the influencer was pulling a suitcase out of a house. It was not the influencer's house, but it was just the model on the screen, but it had the house number. And I was like, I guarantee you, pull that out, and they got all of their videos that they had been working on for months uploaded because they pulled the house number out, right? So where I'm going with this is, from the content side, I can tell you, you probably internationally are gonna have to take it way down to just like, this is made from essential oils. It comes in this box. It is this color. It smells nice. And like, it sucks because even if you have something on your box that's like, we use this for headaches, you can't say it.
It sucks too with his because it's.
Actually
we
works.
use it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
use it. Yeah, we use it for anything. It blows
Yeah.
anything else in the market out of the water.
Yeah. And to be clear, my advice to her was specifically around her first 3 videos to get into the program, not necessarily blanket advice. So for example, Carmen and Beatrice have been doing videos now for months and months. I'd be very comfortable with them doing essential oil videos because if they get rejected, it doesn't impact their account. They just redo it, right? Whereas for Ting, she's getting ready to try and do an approval process, and if she gets rejected, she has to start again. So that was just to clarify like a little bit of nuance there.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Liz, when it comes to supplements, I try to use, just review Excedrin, like this big giant bottle of Excedrin or Tylenol, and I said it helps to reduce, I read off the bottle, it said reduce fever, flag, wouldn't do it. You say it's safe, no, sorry, use, you flag. So now it's basically, so I encourage you to do supplements, but just do them in a very tactful way. This is what the supplement looked like. I typically take my supplements with food, especially when you're first trying it. I hope this review helps.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, and you can review it, and once again, if we understand the reviewer program, we're just getting someone to look at our video at the last point. So at the last video, and it's just get attacked. So be as simple as possible. I hope that helps you with your issue. It's just, this is, it goes on, it doesn't, I don't know, this is the texture of it. If you're doing it, just really simplify when it comes to that medical stuff, because they will flag you with everything that is remotely related to anything. Just removes pimples off my back, or just removes the hair of my mole, or whatever can help you come here.
We did a pimple patch campaign, and it was like, this is clear. You didn't even see it in this video, and everyone was like, these are the things we can say, but they still convert, which is crazy to me. Peter.
Oh, you said the Wayward, Levanta, Logan, what was the fourth one?
Archer Associates. And Logie is Logie. Levanta is .io.
Levanta's been freaking amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what were the other two?
Sorry, Levanta, Archer and Associates. Logie is Logie, and Wayward. They're kind of the new on the scene, but I did a meeting with them and I really like their team. I was like, how about this? And the creators would love this, and they were like, we're gonna go build those. I was like, excellent, thank you. So.
You said Wayward?
Wayward. Actually, I have them up here. Wayward.com.
Oh.
And so basically it just works like this, where you create a link and you get an additional 15%. Wayward, Levanta, and Archer are all off-site. So like your Instagram, your TikTok is just your driving traffic. Logie also does on-site, which is why it's kind of magical. Logie, let me see what his AI.ai. He's on a wait list. Are you on the wait list? Message me and I'll email him. He will usually, if I email him that I've got somebody from
Is it worth having him on the podcast?
Oh, he's awesome, yes. So that's, his name is Ehud Segev?
Connect me with him so I can get him on the podcast.
I'll connect you. But I think he's ex-Amazon and has been in the on-site space for a long time.
Well, Levanta's recruiting a lot of ex-Amazon.
Exactly. So, but his stuff is the only one of these that does on-site additional commission in addition to off-site. So the other three are only off-site. Logie's the only one that's.
What I'm finding with Levanta, there's a lot of higher ticket items and like higher caliber products.
Yeah.
Through Levanta that I'm seeing than through Creator Connect and through
Yeah.
anywhere else.
So Levanta has the best seller and creator reporting that we're seeing right now as well.
Levanta?
Yes,
Yeah, it's great.
but they're also from a brand side, a little bit more expensive.
Right.
So you're gonna get those higher end, bigger brands, but some of the smaller sellers are leaving.
It's almost like stack
Levanta.
influence on the other side. It costs more, but you get a better.
Exactly, so that's what we're seeing.
How is it that those works though? Like you apply and then you create the video and what happens? Like what is?
So
just
basically,
upload
like,
it
let
to
me
your
show
storefront?
you one of mine here. Let's see if I can do reports. So I have I think it's Life Pro has a deal with, this is not helpful. I always forget where to find these things in the back end of the statements. So in the, yeah, here we go. So Life Pro is a brand that has a deal with Logie. They're one of their brands. So I was like, let me play with one of these for on-site. So I picked this red light knee brace, right? And it's one that's medical, so I've done a couple videos to see like how close I can get to be like, this helps my knee pain. I got rejected a couple of times, we got it through. So basically, all I have done is created on-site videos for this knee brace. And you'll see that in addition to what I'm making on Amazon, which I think is 2% or something like that, Logie gives me an extra 10%. So I sold $857 worth of revenue of this knee brace through that video, and Logie's commission to me was $85.
How much is the cost of the product?
It's like a $130 knee brace.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
And so how do you link it? Like
It's right up there with
you-
Creator Connect.
it is. It's the offsite version of Creator Connections, except for you, I think the brands are usually better and you don't have as much fluff to sort through.
And you're reaching out to the brand so they send you a free product, or is that kind of?
No, I
baked
just
into the
bought it.
communication? You just bought it.
You could probably, I've reached out to Life Pro in the past and they've sent me products, but this time I just decided to buy it.
But there's no way to communicate with Life Pro on the platform.
I don't think so. No, not like Creator Connections, you can. How do you connect it? So there's a back end here basically where I say this is my storefront, and I'm logged into my associates account on here, and they basically marry the information.
So you have to purchase the thing, they don't send it to you, you have to purchase it?
Sometimes they'll send it to you.
Okay.
This just happened to be one that I wanted to play with, so I went and bought it. But Logie actually about once a month sends me an email and says, we've matched you with a brand. We'll send this to you tomorrow. Tell us what color pants you want, right?
Mhm.
Like they do that kind of, and they're doing like a data match where they're basically saying to the brands, this content creator converts really well in fashion and apparel. And so then the fashion and apparel company will be like, oh, we want to send her leggings. And then they'll send me leggings and I'll create content for it within a couple weeks. And then I post the on-site and I get an additional commission in addition to they sent it to me for free.
Mhm.
So there's a couple different ways. Carlos?
Is it good to target specific, this is from Nelida, is it good to target specific demographics in the video? A man suggesting to another man, a Latina calling out Latinas, I guess, man to man?
I think if it adds value, yes. So like if it's a product specifically, I'll use a very dumb example for myself. Like I have very curly hair naturally. So if I'm talking like, hey, those of you with curly hair, this is doing good things for us, and this is why, then yes. So if there's
How
something.
about an extreme example, a guy reviewing leggings, obviously not
Okay.
putting them on a.
I have such a good example of this. I had a blow dryer that I bought, and mine died. And it was driving me bananas that there was a man who had no hair owning the first spot in this carousel. I was like, absolutely not.
Was he acting like he was blowing it, or
So
just
it was
talking about
funny
it?
because the brand sent it to him, and he says it in the video. He's like, so here's a blow dryer. He's like, the brand sent this to me. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it. And he went through like the attachments. He's like, but I have no hair. And he was very open about it. And I was like, I will be doggone if that man owns that spot longer than me. 'Cause it takes me an hour to blow dry my hair. That doesn't include the flat iron. And so I created 2 or 3 videos, and I took over the top spots. So if you can, but a friend of ours just today posted, he did a nursing bra. He was like, I wonder how well this is gonna convert.
And it was a
because
guy doing a nursing bra.
It's a guy doing a nursing
Like
bra.
Ramon doing leggings.
Yeah, and I was like, so can you do it? Yes, but you're gonna be limited to your use case scenario. He's like, it unclips.
Well, you can talk about
He's
this.
wearing
My
it.
wife loves this one, Save the Budget.
Yeah, he's like, it's very soft. I didn't actually watch the video, yeah, he's
Okay.
posted it, but yeah. So you can, it's better to talk about it with, experience.
I don't know if you covered this earlier, but what if can you blend 2 products, say the blow dryer and a brush?
Yeah.
And tag both products?
Yep, up to 3 products and still show up on the page. But yeah, if you have, I have my blow dryer and my straightener that I have multiple videos on what I use to straighten my hair. Yes, sir.
Does the video placement change, or if you get a place, I think they kind of talked about it, it's kind of.
Oh, it's a good question. Does the video placement change? It does, almost daily. So
So they just rotate people.
yeah, so like I have a couple that I've lived in for a very long time. Let me see if I can find them here for you because I pulled, okay, so this is like my under the desk treadmill, right? I've been on this product listing for a very long time. I usually maintain upper and lower placement on this product listing, right? But sometimes I'm the 4th video down here, sometimes I'm the 1st video down here. We have absolutely no idea what Amazon is using to determine that placement. So what I would hope it is that it's whoever converts best.
It's gonna come to that.
It has to, but the amount that they move us, I just don't know. So we move, we don't know why.
See that little thumb up down there at the bottom?
Yes.
So I would click that if I was you. Because you can actually click that yourself and give yourself an extra little ding. I don't know if that necessarily moves the needle. I think that was my question.
Yeah.
I think the thumbs up do move the needle.
I think so.
And I think they do help. I don't think a lot of people know about them.
Yeah.
As a best practice, what we've been doing is as we go through to make sure our videos are showing, we're giving ourselves a thumbs up to just basically say,
Yeah.
it's
That's a
there,
lot of thumbs
but I
up.
would maybe, and you can only give yourself one, so.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the thing is, like, so like this is my best performing video, and I want you guys, I'm actually gonna leave this running so you can see how bad it is.
That's what that is in the back.
This is, yeah.
Leaning against the wall.
Is it?
The tall one.
Yeah, so this one doesn't actually show the thumb, it's because it's not on the listing. So, this one has over 80 thumbs up, right? Let's see if I'm currently in the upper carousel. I've been in this carousel for the better part of 2 years. I've made it's probably somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. I haven't done the numbers recently. Last time I looked, it was like $6,000 off of this one product. So I agree with you, because this is my top number of likes. It removes my likes every now and again. I'll go through and be like, no, I like this video, and they'll remove it. I'm like, dang it. So I'm not
I
convinced.
think it's because you probably clicked it and it removes it. So if you click it, it gives you 1, and if you accidentally click it again, I think so well.
I think it has to do with the time you watch it, because I've heard somewhere that you're supposed to watch for 30 seconds. That's how they count the video.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been trying that right now. Every time I click my own video, I wait at least
30 seconds?
and I think they're sticking out.
Interesting.
We'll just have a big thumbs up party.
I know, just everybody send out your storefronts. I'll go through and give you all thumbs up. But you guys, this is just in case you're like, how will I do this? I edit my own videos. I am not a video editor. I just want you to see I put a vertical video here in a horizontal space. Like, your videos don't have to be amazing, right? This was one of my first ones. I'd like to think that I've gotten better in the last 2.5
How many
years.
attempts did you do before you did that and said, okay, I know this enough for no surprises, that now I'm gonna record?
I just went for it. I just set up, well, because this was our lacrosse tent, and so I'd already set it up and taken it down a lot of times.
You doing a wireless mic here?
I'm doing a voiceover. So like the actual, I actually do that quite a bit, is I'll shoot as I go. Like, I'll just be around the house, and if my sister just had a baby, I'm walking around her house like, this is expensive, this is expensive. And then I'll go back to my house, like when we get back to Austin, and sit down and shoot a video with the B-roll next to me and talk about the use cases and how we like it and those sorts of things.
How about variations? You have a product, 5 variations, 1 video.
So Amazon says that if you tag the exact variation that you're holding, that they will put you on any of the appropriate listings that are related to that. So hypothetically, if I tag the blue version, I should show up on the white, yellow, and red version. Amazon is terrible at it.
Yeah.
So sometimes, even though I know a lot of people don't like this, like in way of placement, it's like if you tag 1 is your best shot at good placement. Sometimes I will play around with, if I'm holding a Yeti and it's red, I'll tag blue, black, and white, or whatever, just to be on those listings. But, yeah.
Is it against TOS to CTA for people to find these videos helpful or something like that?
So they've gone back and forth on that a little bit. It is against terms of service to tell people to find you anywhere other than the listing. But they've said sometimes, again, like chat and like they sometimes just don't know. So sometimes they've said, yes, you can say, hey, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. But they also sometimes remove the thumbs up, and so sometimes that's not super clear. So like they used to have thumbs up and thumbs down, and you can still find things in their like help desk creator university that shows videos with both. There we go.
And then the one who gets the sales commission is the one who last video watched.
We don't know. We think that it's the last video watched, but we don't actually know. They don't tell us.
Do you know anything about doing shoppable photos?
Shoppable photos?
Yeah, do you know much about that?
Yes, shoppable photos are best for fashion apparel, but Amazon wants vertical video and vertical content for the Inspire feed.
And do you have to be wearing the clothes, or do they care a lot about
I
the
mean,
shoppable
you
photos?
would either be holding it or wearing it, so.
Because on Logi, they have the AI that you can use to generate the shoppable photos straight from there.
Okay.
I don't know if you maybe, I don't know if you use it.
That
No, they give you the description, they give you the thumbnail, and you can just put it right there on your Amazon listing.
Can I look into that for a minute, because that feels against terms of service for me. But the fact that Logi's doing it surprises me, so it makes me think maybe I just don't know.
Yeah, they let you download it. They have links where you can click after you generate it and put it straight on Facebook or wherever. One of them says Amazon Live as a category. One is Facebook, Pinterest, or whatever. I just download it and then I use it as a shoppable photo.
So they have just recently started letting you do collages for shoppable photos. So maybe that's in line with what you're talking about, is you're creating with AI, like a downloadable shoppable photo. Okay, yes, I think that's good.
Let's do this real quick. Let me ask one more question from the stream so that I
Yeah.
can cut it here. I know you're gonna stay and network a little bit if
Yeah.
we haven't already
Yeah.
ate up too much of that. And that way, anybody that is here, anybody that needs to move around and talk to people can continue asking questions.
Perfect.
But just so that we can come to an official thing, or my editors are gonna kill me with this file, right? So, actually, two quick ones from the stream. One is, how, you touched on it a little bit, how to find out what people from Mexico buy the most, or what products Latinos buy the most, perhaps Helium-10, Jungle Scout?
I mean, I use Jungle Scout almost exclusively. I can't remember. Yeah, there we go. So like, if you could come and just use Jungle Scout. I'm not sure about Helium-10. I'm sure they're the same. Is going to work in all of the geos.
Right.
So you could come over here and use their sales data.
What about, which is better, horizontal or vertical?
So there's not a better at the moment between horizontal and vertical. Vertical is what Amazon is asking for, 30 seconds or less vertical shorts for the Inspire feed. But they also just took all copyrighted and music out of the Inspire feed and killed about 90% of the feed, so, you know.
Okay, so for the stream at least, or for anybody here that needs to leave and you're just being respectful of everything, we're gonna officially end it here. Again, you can continue with your questions and asking Liz, but just so that we can hit the stream, all right? So like, thank you.